What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Baggers and Brews channel. Thanks for tuning in tonight with After Hours with the Crew, our live stream. Appreciate everybody showing up. If you're new to the channel, we are Baggers and Brews. We pretty much cover anything motorcycle or beer related. Doing these live streams, and you know what? I got to stop saying I already got yelled at once from the wife for that. So anyway, now I'm saying, now you got me saying all kinds of weird stuff. So tonight we have a special guest from the West Coast, Full Throttle Hog. He's a newer, younger channel, and I saw him on my home screen and got excited about the stuff he was putting out. He's putting out some great stuff. I thought I had to have him on so we could have some discussion about his channel and his amazing editing that he's doing. So I'm going to unmute the guys now. We'll get some introductions. We'll talk about what beer we're drinking, and we'll get on with this show. What's up, guys?
What's happening?
What's happening?
Hello. How's everybody doing tonight?
Fantastic.
Good.
Now.
Doing good.
All right, well, let's go around. Yes, it is. Let's go around the horn and do some quick introductions, and then we'll just dive right in. You go ahead and kick us off there, Austin.
My name is Austin. Driver. I ride a 2013 Road King CVO that's still broke, and right now I'm drinking Shaky Boy milkshake IPA that from Second Sin.
Second Sin. Nice.
Yeah, we just did a little video on this, so really good.
Good stuff. George?
I'm George. Talk about bikes. I got a 2018 Road Glide and 09 Crossbones that doesn't get out of the shed too much. And tonight I'm rolling with the fluffiest that my good buddy Austin gave me.
Oh,
and
yes.
It's a milk stout with cacao, vanilla, graham cracker, and marshmallows. And it's 8.8. So,
that's a little extreme for you.
it's up there. It's up there.
All right. And our guest, Full Throttle Hog. What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me on. So just for everybody tuned in, I'm Ryan, by the way. That is my name. But I go by Full Throttle Hog, and I drive, or I'd say I ride, a 2020 Road Glide Special, which I am absolutely in love with. And tonight I'm drinking our local brewery, Belching Beaver, and it is Me So Honey. Did my camera freeze? It might have froze.
Your camera did freeze.
Of course, I'm going to show the beer. Stand by.
I like the sound of Me So Honey. That's a good name for a beer.
Say that again.
It wouldn't be a Baggers and Brews live stream without some technical difficulties, right?
It's rolling.
I will just continue on with that. I am obviously Bert. Ride a 2016 Road Glide Special, Velocity Red. I love it. Just like Ryan said, he loves his. And tonight I'm drinking a coffee porter from a local brewery here in Hamilton, New Jersey, 3-3's Brewery, 6%. And it's actually delicious. First time I've had it.
Nice.
So I'm going to have to, since you can see me now, I'm going to have to show you that I am actually drinking a beer. It is the Belching Beaver. It's a blonde, Me So Honey. You guys are always getting creative. Of course, your percentage counts. I don't even want to tell you what this is, to be honest with you. I think you're going to
4.5.
It is a 5.5. It is a 5. No, I didn't go that low. It is a 5.5. I got to up my game.
Nah, 5.5's all right. It's a good everyday drinker. All right, so I want to just hop right in and kind of get to know you a little bit. Can you just kind of start off with giving us some background information on yourself? You know, where you're from, all that good jazz?
Yeah, for sure. So I am born and raised in Southern California in San Diego. I know it sucks, but somebody has to do it. Don't get me wrong, the state is absolutely going crazy. I almost can't wait to get out of this state, but it's a great place if you're riding. Started getting it. Well, I started riding back in 2000 was my first riding journey, and I was riding crotch rockets at the time. I was much younger, and I healed a lot faster. So did the crotch rocket thing for a little bit, and honestly, I got into my first video production in 2002. And truth be told, I did that because all of my buddies told me that I couldn't. So back then, you have to remember, back in 2001, there was no YouTube. There was nothing that you could refer to, to get advice. And I call it YouTube University all the time. I mean, you can get a better education on YouTube than pretty much anywhere else. And so Adobe Premiere Pro, back then, you would have to buy the program. It was like $1,200 for the program. Before I did that, I actually bought the Adobe Premiere Pro Bible, and it was a book, and it was like that thick. I didn't even know what I was looking at, what I was reading. I literally read the thing cover to cover before I bought the program, so I kind of knew what I was getting into. Then from there, I mean, just like everything, I mean, technology changes, and once your cameras go out of date and you get into that digital technology, I mean, back then I was literally recording on high 8 tapes and having to import the footage. So if you recorded for an hour, it took you an hour to input your footage into your computer, and then you would go and edit from there. Then if you had a 30-minute video, you would then have to export it for 30 minutes and just to have one video. So it took some time.
Wow.
But so I kind of got out of the game when things went digital, and I'm kicking myself now. I think about it all the time because, when you look at YouTube starting in 2005-ish, and I could have been there in the beginning from Jump Street had I not said, I just decided, you know what, this is turning into a new direction. I'm going to let off the gas pedal. And this is a perishable skill. I'm sure all you guys know it's a perishable skill. If you don't use it, you lose it. And I found myself just farther and farther away. I would create videos from time to time, or I'd do, things for friends or family members. But I really wasn't digging back into it until I launched a Tundra channel. And just like John, one of your previous guests, ironically, I was following him back when I was doing my Tundra channel. So the Tundra channel was tundra4x4.club. And I really just started getting back into that love of video editing and creating, starting almost from scratch all over again. I knew the program Premiere, I knew how to get around it, but just as far as, all the tools that you lose along the way, I just had to start almost all over. And from there, it just was, it was one of those things on YouTube. I mean, that channel is not a big channel. It's only got, I think, like 8,300 subscribers. So when I was going to create this channel, Full Throttle Hog, I learned a lot from that first channel. I learned a lot on what not to do. I learned a lot how to gain the type of subscribers that you really want to have. So when I was launching this channel, I decided I had to make the decision. I'm not going to just change the name of the channel and kind of throw off the subscribers I gained and, just change the name. And now all of a sudden I can monetize myself, have 8,300 subscribers. And I just didn't want to do that route. So I was like, you know what, let's start from scratch. We learned a lot from that channel. So right now we're just now starting out. And I mean, the things that you learn, cutting your teeth and the algorithms and getting, true followers and just making your channel grow organically. That's kind of where I'm at. And that's why I'm here.
Okay.
That's awesome. Yes. So photography, is that a bigger passion of yours than riding, or which would you say you love more if you had to give one up? Which would it be?
I would probably give up the photography just because I love the creating aspect of video. And I joke around all the time. I mean, I'm unable to draw a stick figure, and that's not an exaggeration. Like, I can't do it. But the only way I can get the creativeness out of me is to create these videos. And I have a lot of things in my head when I'm filming and how I can see the edit going, and that helps me out along the way. Photography, I've only been doing for about 3 years, and I consider myself a rookie when it comes to photography, but I do enjoy learning photography, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. But if I had to give up one, I would say goodbye to still shots and just work on video.
Yeah, all it takes is that one shot that you go, whoa, and then from there you're hooked.
100%.
So are you self-taught with photography, or did you take any schooling?
YouTube University.
Okay. Okay.
I'm currently a sophomore.
Sophomore. Nice.
At the Peter McKinnon School of Photography.
You got that right, baby.
George's boy.
Yeah, we hear about him all the time.
At this point, he's all of our boys, so like it's fine.
Yeah,
I call him Pete. It's fine.
George, he's on a first name basis.
So
it's not an accident that all my ND filters are Polar Pro, and I cannot confirm or deny that my ND filter for my Nikon Z6 is a Peter McKinnon ND filter. I don't know.
Nice. So real quick before we get any further into this, George, what's going on in the side chat over there?
Got a bunch of people over there. North County Bikers. Anonymous is, the usual shenanigans. Sinister Clutch. We got Roger Anderson, the other R. Anderson in our world over there in the side chat. Ozarks and the Badgers, Bell's Rider, Bry the Biker. It's quite the crew over there. We got Whit Meza. Been all around the world.
Nice.
Yeah, been all around the world. Whitney Meza,
former guest.
That's
so
it.
Speaking of Badgers, just real quick, since you brought them up, just to let everybody know, if you don't already know, if you haven't seen on YouTube or Facebook, the Badgers down there in Florida, they have started a journey to break the world record for the longest poker run, Guinness Book record, and they've been doing a lot of work to get this going. Their plan is to leave out of Florida, I believe July 30th. They're going to have to do about 3,200 miles, and then the plan after about a 7 or 8 day ride is to end up and finish the poker run in Sturgis. So if that's something that you want to do, or you think you're interested in, you can go over to supportbikers.com, and all the information will be on there. Also, if you follow the Badgers on their Facebook, they have a huge Facebook following. If you follow them on there, they're constantly posting updates about that. Also, they're to Saturday night. I'm not sure of the time. It's either 7 or 8. They will be having a live stream that I will probably be on. They're going to be introducing the route that's going to be taken for this. So, again, if that's something that sounds fun to you and you have enough vacation time to do, check it out, because it's going to be a pretty epic ride. You're not going to want to miss that.
Badgers say the time is 7 p.m. and not to mention that this ride, after all costs are covered, the remainder of the proceeds are 100% going to charity. Charity yet to be announced, but going to charity nonetheless.
Yeah, so, and there's also some other much bigger YouTubers than us that are involved in this. So, go over there and read up on the information and get involved if you want. They're definitely, wanting as many riders as they can get. So for the charity. So check it out. All right. Back to Full Throttle Hog here. So now you're not even a year old yet on the channel, are you?
No. Actually, I launched the channel in the COVID year in July. So mid-July, I really wanted to get it done and launched in April. I thought the COVID thing would have been over and done with in 30 days. I was dead wrong. So it launched right before Sturgis because I knew I wanted to capture Sturgis, and I wanted to make sure that I brought a series of documenting our entire trip to Sturgis. So July 17th, I believe, was our official launch date of the video. And I say our because my wife has been promoted to videographer, so I trained her how to film. So, and also on that trip, Megan and Megan has helped me out with some of these videos as well.
So since you brought it up, you're probably in the one place other than where we are in the New Jersey, New York area that I would not want to be in under these circumstances. How's that been out there with this whole COVID thing? What is life like in California for those of us that don't live in that type of world?
So it's brutal, to be honest with you, I mean, California is, and I'm not intending this to get any type of political, but I mean, it is a very left-winged state that, we literally have a governor that's going to be on the ballot for a recall. I think they're only like 200,000 votes away or something crazy like that. But they, California, in its sense, they changed the rules almost every single day on what they would have. I felt really bad for these small business owners. My wife joked with me all the time about I finally, pulled the trigger. I got the bike on January 15th of 2020. And right after that, COVID happened, and there was really no place to ride to. So she's like, you finally got your bike, and now you can't ride anywhere. So the restaurants were closed. Everybody was, it was even just a complete full lockdown at that time, where riding was literally you had to vlog because there was no story to tell about where you were going or the food places or the breweries you want to see, because all those places were just completely shut down. And it was really frustrating. We have down at the beach in Pacific Beach, there's a small little bar called Bubs, and it's known. It's right there on Garnett Avenue. And Bubs, I mean, bikers, you show up. It's got an open air window, and you can just sit there and have a burger, have a beer. Just a real popular place to have, just a good time. I mean, Bubs is shut down. Everything was shut down to the point where they even shut down our beaches. You couldn't go into a beach parking lot because it was lined with cops and they had cones out. You literally couldn't ride anywhere except for maybe the gas station.
Wow.
So you had to get creative. It really sucked riding out here at that time. And it's been ebb and flow like everybody else, like you guys as well. They kind of released some of the sanctions, if you will, and then they cranked it back up. And you all were in Sturgis. When I was in Sturgis, it didn't even feel like didn't even feel like COVID was even a thing.
It was great
when I was out there. Yeah, it felt normal.
Yep.
And so out here, the riding, I mean, it's awesome to ride out here, minus our road conditions have really gone downhill. The roads themselves and the scenery is beautiful, but you can't go up, PCH or the 101 and think that you're not going to hit every single pothole that's ever been invented.
Wow.
It's been really rough. So, COVID's really affected riding for sure.
That sucks.
So, I mean, not only affected riding, I think for us, it's really affected our YouTube channel. One of the stories that we would tell is, going to some of these breweries and getting in the back rooms and talking to brewers and, really filming some great shots of that. And now, I mean, we're allowed in breweries, but nobody really wants you in the back. No. Nobody wants you behind the bar. Nobody wants you, you know what I mean? Yeah. Running around with a camera, filming. I mean, it's really changed how we have to go about things.
There's nothing sexy about somebody wearing a mask, right? So it's not even, I mean, there's nothing you can do to create sexiness about wearing these face masks. And you're going in, I go to coffee shops and in places that I'm like, man, it'd be really cool to just get a really good cinematic sequence of this shot or this place, but everybody's in their masks. And it's like, well, I mean, everybody understands now that it's COVID, but there's really nothing sexy about it. I don't care if you're into the doctor thing or whatever you got going on. There's nothing sexy about it.
Yeah. that is sure.
Somebody begs to differ.
Dude's always in a mask.
Oh, geez.
As a matter of fact, we've never seen him without a mask. He's been prepping for COVID the entire year before.
COVID
mask
was
level
expert.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get back to your channel a little bit. When you started this channel, what did you have a vision? Did you know kind of where you wanted to go with it, or were you just kind of winging it?
So it really was, to me, as I mentioned with the Tundra channel, and creating, just kind of getting that energy back and that motivation to create again and do it more in a cinematic type of way. I mean, I watch a lot of different YouTube channels. I follow a lot of different motovloggers out there, and I was trying to figure what is the thing that I would like to see a little bit more of. what is something as me, the viewer, would enjoy. And I'm just one person, but I really have always enjoyed creating cinematic sequences. So I wanted to marry those two groups together and just try to find a way to create a better viewing experience all the way around, where that if the storyline or whatever I'm covering that day might not directly affect somebody, they might get some enjoyment out of the location we're at with the B-roll. So I always knew I wanted to keep it a cinematic type of channel and create those sequences. And now, I mean, as we all know, with you always got to keep trying different things and bettering yourself and learning new things. I've been hit up a lot. I've had a ton of DMs on helping other riders, if they wouldn't mind if I, would either take a look at their work or help walk them through their process of becoming a vlogger and or motovlogger, or even hitting me up about them shooting a family wedding. So I'm starting to take a different approach and spiderweb out versus I was just going to be hardlined. It's going to be it's always going to be motorcycle centric. That's never going to change. And there's going to be crossover, as I mentioned, the Tundra channel and creating this. Sometimes those, as we know from your previous guest from your last live stream, sometimes those are going to intermingle. Just there's going to be just a crossroads between those. And ironically, we have something coming up, something real special. I can't really give too many details about it right now. We're all going to be out of town next week, but those two worlds are going to collide a little bit, and I'm excited to film it. I'm really excited to bring it to all of you. It's just something that worked out. After it's all said and done, I'm sure we'll have maybe I can talk to you guys about it again on how it all went down. But those two worlds sometimes will kind of collide. But I always wanted to make this a cinematic experience. I'm going to continue doing that, but along the way, I want to help others kind of build up their, I don't want to say motivation, because a lot of people have motivation, but when you're editing videos, sometimes you can just feel lost at points, and you have an idea in your head on how you want that video to come out. You just don't know how to get there. So if I can help people take what's in their head and let them know, yeah, it's possible this way. Now, I don't know all the tools. I've been using the program for over 20 years, and I can tell you I probably only use 60%. That's how intricate it is. So it's just one of those things that I knew I wanted to keep it cinematic, but as things progress and move forward, I really want to help other vloggers and motovloggers, kind of help them create with the things that I know, using multi-cameras, using GoPros, which is a kind of a nightmare in itself when you're trying to use multiple different cameras and with colors and all that kind of stuff. So if I can do that and also create cinematic stuff, then it's a win.
Right.
Right on.
Yeah, we got a question here in the chat. Barbara CVO, what program are you using to edit? It's Premiere Pro, is that?
That is correct.
Okay.
So I started using Premiere Pro back in it wasn't even a 20, it was just 2000. Back in 2000, started using Premiere Pro, got away from it a little bit. Now I'm back. I have dabbled in a couple other programs along the way, but all arrows point me back to Premiere Pro, and it's probably because I'm biased, because that's where I had the most knowledge, to be honest with you. But yeah, Adobe Premiere Pro, that's where everything happens, and I just love that program. It's not perfect, none of them are, but I've been using it for so long that I've got my hotkeys set up where I want, and I feel myself just crushing edits in a much faster time when I use it.
Okay.
Nice. And another quick question from the chat is, what is your go-to video lens?
Ooh.
My go-to video lens. It's not even a question. So I'm actually on it right now. It's also my webcam. So it is. I got a Nikon Z6. I've been a Nikon person for a while, and so I was very, very excited for them to come out with a video camera to compete with the Sonys and the Canons, because Canon and Sony have always crushed the market in video.
Mm-hmm.
Nikon's always been in the back seat. Actually, they were just left on the side of the road, to be honest with you. So they came out with their Z series, their mirrorless camera, and they pretty much made a camera, but secondary to the video. So I'm using a 24-70 2.8 Nikon Z mount lens.
Nice.
Wow. heavy duty equipment right there.
Yeah, it's I love it. I do not leave the house without it. And if I had one camera, like my go-to-war camera, if I had to shoot a wedding or a special event and they only gave me one lens, you literally can use that lens all the way up to because you can switch it between your FX mode and your DX mode. So if I were to switch it over to a DX, technically I would have a 105 mil lens just using still this camera. So it's an all-around good lens.
Nice.
Good stuff.
Hey, honest answer. Cinevlogs. Did you coin that term or did you hear it somewhere?
Honestly, I never heard it anywhere else. Unless you guys have, I would be the first to. That would be first to me. But I never heard anybody ever refer to it. It just came to me honestly in a video. Just came right out of my mouth. I was like, "That works."
Yeah, I never heard it before.
You should tag your buddy Pete with that phrase. That might catch his attention.
Might be something I'll look into.
So 2020 was pretty much crap. 2021, what do you have any goals for the channel for 2021 other than whatever this is you got going on next week or whatever that is?
Yeah, for it not to be crap. That would be fantastic.
Not to be crap. That's a good goal.
Yeah.
So that
I think that's collective all the way around. But 2021. I will tell you, and she's probably going to get a little upset, but I'm going to tell you a little story about the wife. She's probably watching this right now, to be honest with you. But when we travel a lot, we love to travel. We always have travel well together. And when I brought up going to Sturgis, she was excited to go on a trip, if that makes sense. But she wasn't. It wasn't like we were going to Cancun, right, or Dominican Republic where we like to go. She would just be like, "Yeah, I'm kind of excited. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it." However, I will tell you, because of just different responsibilities and her having to come home early, we went to Sturgis, and she had to fly home, and she almost didn't get on the plane. She had that much fun in Sturgis that I mean, and don't get me wrong, I was trying to get her to stay. So with that, it really creates more of us being together and going to these different events. I was pretty heartbroken that this year's Arizona Bike Week was already canceled, but because it is something that now my passion and my enjoyment, I mean, my wife and I met on motorcycles 20 years ago, and then I took a 14-year hiatus, and now that we're back and traveling together and doing it on the bike, it's really cool. Something I really, really enjoy, and spending time with her and just, I get to, everything comes together. I get my video production, I get my motorcycle, and I'm with the wife. So, I mean, there's nothing that can go wrong. So this year in 2021, we do have plans to get out to Arizona Bike Week or in 2022, but we talked about doing Florida. I don't think that's going to happen because of the new restrictions that they're talking about already. And I think I'm done doing any type of motorcycle rally that's got restrictions. With that, we know we're doing Sturgis. We're already booked for Sturgis. We're staying the entire 2 weeks for Sturgis. Right. And I would really, if I can, put together either a mini documentary on it and just kind of have a different type of film. Or we'll just do another series like we did last year, just kind of showing an after COVID. Hopefully COVID's over by then, but just documenting everything along the way. But pretty excited because we're going to be 5 blocks from Main Street, and that's just going to make it so easy to just get good footage.
Oh yeah. And
from there, we do plan on getting out to the K River campground and just kind of checking out all those roads. And if possible, towards the end of the year or shortly after Sturgis, I would love to do the Ozarks. If I could do the Ozarks rally, that would kind of complete my 2021. So, and anything else that comes along the way. So you guys got to hit me up if you got something going on. Don't get me wrong. We are spontaneous. I am spontaneous. So you might hit me up and say, "Hey, next weekend we got this going on," and I'll just let you know I'm en route.
Well, we will definitely do that. We had some plans in the works, and looks like this week, if I found out, that might not happen for us just because of time off for my wife. So we might have to make some other plans. We got some ideas in the works, and when we figure it out, we'll definitely let you know what we're doing.
So are you guys doing Sturgis then? Are you doing Sturgis this year?
We are not doing Sturgis this year. That's a big undertaking for us. I mean, you're not close either, but that's a full 2-week thing, and it's hard for some of us or our spouses to get the 2 weeks off at a time. So that's a tough one. So no, we're not doing that this year. We're still working on our plans. We don't have anything locked up at this point. Right.
I mean, really, it's just to see like what rallies are going to be open and good. I mean, it's it was great to go to the 80 to Sturgis. I mean, we had the time of our lives, but many times we were there, we were like, I wonder what this is like on a year without this situation. So it's
all right. So Sturgis has been mentioned several times, so let's talk about Sturgis 2020 and your trip, your experience. Why don't you give us a little recap of that trip and how you planned it, and then just how it went down?
Yeah, so it's actually a crazy story. So we documented the entire thing. So I'm going to give myself a small little plug here. If you hadn't had a chance to check out the Sturgis series, it's a 7-part series, and we did everything from the travel day all the way to our last day. And I really wanted to create kind of the backstory and the feel for, and I say characters only because my wife and Megan were involved, and I wanted to keep them involved. So I knew that first video, that travel day video, although nobody likes to watch travel day videos really, except for maybe me, I do. I knew it was going to be longer, and I knew that it was going to be there to help establish it, so that even if somebody watches one of the more popular ones, which is the nightlife series, where you see all the things that you want to see, that they would start kind of maybe backtracking back to episode 1, right? So Sturgis was brought up shortly after I bought the bike. My buddy that I met, believe it or not, I mean, you guys can all contest this, and this is, going to be a much longer answer, I guess, but the people you meet riding a motorcycle are people that you would never meet in almost any other circumstance. I believe that for a fact. I look at my wife and my kids and things like that. I wouldn't have my life right now if it wasn't for the purchase of a motorcycle back in 2000. So my buddy Clint August, and he has a channel, Motorcycle Monkey. He also has, this guy is a voice jockey for 101.5 KGB FM here in San Diego, and has been for many, many years. He is he's a Tundra owner, right? That's going to come into play in a second. And then he has his own coffee. This guy's like spinning like 13 plates. I don't know how he keeps it together. He's the one that hosts these bike nights out here in Southern California. We now have bike nights. He just said, hey, I'm going to buy a location. I'm going to push, the coffee, obviously. And he's using this area to say, you know what, we're bringing bike nights back to San Diego, which has been awesome. So every Saturday morning, he's got breakfast. Bikers show up. They meet up before the rides, after the rides. So this all comes into play because my first ride on the 2020 Road Glide Special, leaving my driveway, there's a coffee shop about almost exactly a mile from my house that I'd never been to. I passed by 1,000 times. So in that, I decide, you know what? I'm on the bike. It's new. Obviously, don't want to drop it. It's Baggers. So I'm going to go as short as possible, right? And stop and get off the bike and just call that a win. So I get down to the coffee shop, and immediately I get off the bike, and I'm parked next to Clint, who's got his Tundra there. And he says, nice bike. And I say, hey, nice Tundra. And we just start chit-chatting while we're standing in line. Little did I know that he literally goes to this coffee shop every single morning. But he says, hey, I got a YouTube channel, and I do this, and I do motorcycle stuff. I said, that's funny. I have a YouTube channel too, and I do Tundra stuff, right? So we started talking, and, I just wanted to help him out, kind of grow his thing, and, just do some edits for him and just say, hey, this would just be really cool to, get together. So we did bike reviews and went on rides together, and we've become really good friends. I mean, he's going to have a new podcast coming out that's going to be amazing. So, this guy has literally got so many different things going. So he immediately tells me, are you going to Sturgis? And I said, I said, that's a bucket list thing. I'd love to do it. So after this conversation, he's telling me about his trip to Sturgis. He's done twice, and he went up through Beartooth Pass and his route. I mean, he brings me like a map and showing me all this cool stuff, these photos, and I watch his videos, and I'm now really excited. So immediately, Megan, who has literally got more saddle time than I do by a lot, because when I stopped riding in 2005, Megan kept riding, and she does, track, and she has her Harley, she has her track bike, she has her R6 or on the road. So she's got a whole bunch of stuff. And I immediately call her and I say, hey, what do you think? Actually, I think I brought it up to the wife first, and of course she was like, seems okay. I called Megan and said, hey, are you interested in this? Megan's excited. She just got her Sportster in November or October in 2019. So she's in. Megan has a 15-foot toy box. I don't even think they make these things anymore. They're called a Bearcat. So I'm telling Megan, like, let's start planning this thing out. So we do, and we do the whole Cody, Wyoming thing, and we leave here, go to Cody, camp there, and then take Beartooth Pass all the way up, stay in Red Lodge, Montana, which if you haven't done Beartooth Pass, you have to do it. You have to do it. You have to do it, no matter what. It is amazing. Every turn is better than the last. And you're like, it can't get any better. And then you make another turn. You're like, well, yeah, okay, here we are. I will tell you. So Megan's 15-foot toy hauler, which fit both our bikes, when I say technically it didn't, because by the time that we got there, the bikes danced a little bit. I got a little bit of damage on the bike, but nothing major. We stayed in this 15-foot toy hauler, and everybody look at us weird, right? You get to camp, you got me, I got my wife, and I got Megan. Now, Megan and my wife are best friends, but perception is reality, right? So you walk out of this trailer, you got two girls coming out, everybody's like, what the heck is going on? So we end up doing that run and then continue on to Sturgis. And I will tell you that we stayed at Big Rig RV. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that spot, but it's about a mile almost exactly from Main Street. And it kind of sits up on the hill directly across from the Sturgis mountain sign where you can see Sturgis. So, in this trip, we had almost everything planned out. We stayed there a while, and we almost had every single thing planned out. To where on this vacation, I don't think I ever ate so little and drank so little in my entire life on a vacation, because we were always riding and I was always filming, to the point where when we got done with Sturgis, we had 4 terabytes of video, and George can contest, going through 4 terabytes would pretty much, it almost gave me an aneurysm, to be honest with you. But yeah, we documented it. It was a trip of a lifetime. I don't think we'll ever be able to relive that experience, because it was new to us. There was zero drama, and everything just kind of just fell into place, and there was no stresses all the way across. So trip of the lifetime for sure.
That's awesome.
4 terabytes. Now, are you shooting in 4K or 1080?
That would be both. So all my slow motion is done in 1080. And all other footage was 4K. So I do a lot of slow motion stuff, but there was quite a bit, I'd say predominantly 4K.
That's a lot of footage.
Wow.
That's not,
and I'm the kind of person I do my edits and I rewatch every frame, because I want to see where that exact sweet spot is. Mm-hmm. There's nothing more frustrating than going to do an edit and all you have is this clip that you need to fill this spot and you didn't get enough footage and it's a crappy shot. That's like the worst feeling to me. I hate when that happens. So I figured 4 terabytes would get me through it.
Jeez.
Wow. So to do that like piece of B-roll and something is just out of frame or something's like just off and it's like, man,
oh yeah. And it happens. It happens to all of us. Or you have your settings wrong. There's nothing, you think I'm shooting in 120 frames per second and I have my shutter speed completely out of whack and the shot's ruined. It would have been amazing. And if somebody could jump in my brain and relive it how I saw it, it would have been amazing. But always, I guess there's a tip for everybody. Always check your settings every time. Make sure you have your memory cards and make sure you check your settings every time you hit power on. Hands down.
That's funny. So what was the one thing you would say was your favorite part of the Sturgis trip?
Ouch. That is such.
I know it's hard.
It's a hard one for sure.
I mean, I could. It's hard because I could blanket it and say the riding. You know, I mean, obviously Black Hills. You know, riding the Black Hills is a different experience, and we already mentioned the roads here in California, and they are garbage. You leave California and you get into that area. So we showed up a day early before the event, actually 2 days before the event. And the very next day, we did the whole Mount Rushmore, Iron Mountain Road, and Needles Highway, where there was a lot less people. I didn't realize, it's my first time, I didn't realize how much fewer people were out there at that time until I redid that ride on Saturday. And I was like, good grief. I mean, you're going 10 miles an hour, almost the entire route.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. Don't get me wrong. It didn't suck. But the riding in the Black Hills, I would say everybody talks, you know, I know a lot of people, and the people that haven't rode out here in Southern California, we have amazing scenery and amazing roads. There are amazing roads out here. But that just took it to the next level. And we kind of spoiled ourselves by doing Beartooth Pass on the way out there, because Beartooth Pass was absolutely amazing. And then the Black Hills just kept on piling on top of that. So I would honestly say the riding was the best part. I mean, we got to downtown, we got a chance to hang out. We got a chance to meet other people. We met Adam Sandoval, which was fantastic. And just being able to talk with him on an off camera atmosphere, which is really cool. But it really just came to getting back. We were so exhausted by the time we got back to the trailer that we just kind of racked out, and we were up early every single day. And there was no sleeping in. It was 6 a.m. We're ready to rock, and we're going to take in the day. So
Wow.
I would say the riding. That's my answer.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, Sturgis, I think, is one of those. And maybe I haven't been to all the rallies, but it seems like it's the one rally where, as big as the party is, the riding just is even better.
Yeah.
I mean, what other rallies do you go to where the riding even matters? Nothing really on the East Coast. I mean, Laconia's got nice riding, but Daytona. I mean, who goes to Daytona to ride? You know.
Well, and you make a very good point, because it honestly can hit everybody's taste buds, right? No matter what you're craving at that point, you could go to hang out. There are people, and I know them, and there's nothing wrong with this. They rode out to Sturgis just to go and party for the entire time they're in Sturgis. You know what? To each their own. But if you're not a person that is all about partying, and don't get me wrong, I like to party. You know, it's a good time. But if you aren't one of those people, Sturgis also offers you a different aspect, and I think that's what makes it so fantastic.
Yeah, we rode just about every day, right? And we still there's stuff we didn't get to do. We didn't get to hit Needles, which, you know, I wish we had. But it was so much riding that, like, by the end of our stay there, it was like, you know, it's been so much riding, and we got to ride over 1,800 miles back home. So you get a little worn out. We did ride out. We did ride out.
Nice. We did.
And you all got your patches, yes?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. I was like, you didn't go all that way without getting your patches.
No,
right? So,
that was I rode just to get the patch.
there you go. That's awesome. And you know what? I had buddies that did that too, and there's something nostalgic. There you go.
Oh, you did get the shirt.
I rode mine.
There is something nostalgic about doing that. You know what I mean? Like you'd never have to do it again if you didn't want to, because you have done that route.
Right.
And 1,800 miles is no joke. How many days did that take you?
4 days out, 3 days back. And I mean, going out the last 2 days, we kept light because we wanted to, do some sightseeing as we got into South Dakota.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll tell you, if there's honestly a suggestion, you mentioned Needles, and for everybody that's ever thinking about going, that's watching this now or the replay, you want to do Needles in reverse. You want to take Needles back up the hill and you want to take Iron Mountain down. That's where you get all the best views. And I'm surprised that's not talked about a little bit more, but always take Iron Mountain down and Needles back up, because that's where you don't want to miss it that way. Two, pack a lot less than what you think, because you're going to be buying a ton of shirts. I'm pretty sure I bought every dang shirt in Sturgis, and I brought a whole bunch of shirts with me. I don't know what I was thinking, to the point where the wife was making fun of me the entire time, along with Megan. But every shop, you know, there was another shirt that I was like, I have to get that shirt.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Well, we
I
had
don't
the
know when
best.
it'll be back.
We had the best of both worlds, because we did have a trail car. We had our wives in a minivan towing a small covered trailer with my wife's bike on it. So we had extra room to throw stuff in there if we had to. So we were good.
You guys had that video. You did a video on Sturgis, yes?
We did. Yeah, we did.
Yes.
multiple.
Okay. So I did see that video. I saw that video.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's smart. Have the trailer car. 100%. That's smart.
It was definitely nice to have.
That was a fun time.
So what would you say you liked or disliked about Sturgis? Like, what was one thing that jumps out that you don't like about Sturgis?
I would probably say the amount of rookie riders on the road thinking that they can grab their bike and then they're just going to learn how to ride a motorcycle in the Black Hills. And you saw them roll up legitimately in almost packs with, you always can tell them, and there's nothing wrong with being a new rider, but you know, they had all the same Harley Davidson jackets with their dealership plates, and it's not like they rented these things. And here they are in the Black Hills, and you just watch them. And I know that there's a lot of accidents out there, and I'm not knocking new riders. I want a lot more people to get into riding, but I would say that you would see them everywhere, and it just makes you nervous, right? Because you can be comfortable, you can be doing all the right things, but if somebody's is coming up the hill and you're going down and you're doing everything right, you know, it could still be game over at that point.
Yeah.
And I saw a lot of that. So I would say that was definitely one of those things. It keeps you sharp, and you should always be thinking about that. And you should always be sharp, but it almost brings an extra bit of anxiety when you're out there on those roads, knowing that they're coming around the corner, they're crossing over the lines, or they have no idea what their lines are at that point.
Yeah.
So it makes you nervous. So I would say a lot of the newer riders that are trying to learn to ride in the Black Hills, that was a downer. Other than that, I honestly could tell you, we got stuck in the worst storm that I've never even driven. You guys are going to laugh at me being on the East Coast. I've never driven in weather that bad in a car, in a caged vehicle, let alone rode a motorcycle, that we stopped. So we finally stopped. We gave in because hail was coming in my face, and I didn't have my clear visor. So my visor's up. I'm getting hailed on. I'm screaming into the Senna. The wife's telling me to be quiet. I'm thinking a deer's going to come out at any second, and it's going to be lights out. We finally stopped because we had to decide, do we wait out the storm or do we power through? And of course, being out here, I'm like, you know what? We power through it. We don't wait anything out. This thing will last for hours when they really only last 20 minutes. So we power through. We finally stop at a gas station, and we even literally have the clerk coming out. We're the only people around. And she's looking at us and she says, "You guys are idiots. Even the big rigs are all parked right over here because this is a terrible storm." And of course, I'm making light of it. Megan's burnt her rain gear onto her exhaust. Everything's funny. They did have my favorite beer of all times, though, speaking of which. That gas station, which, you're damn sure I made sure that we strapped that to the back. I think I even threw away something expensive just to make sure we brought that beer back. Don't laugh. Leinenkugel's. Don't laugh yet. Honey Weiss. Honey Weiss is not available west of the Rockies, and that is my favorite beer of all time. The reason it's not available is because they use local honey. They sold it here for about 3 weeks, but I went to Liney's Lodge back before Miller even bought the company. So local brewery. I'm not into the summer shandies and all the other stuff like that. Like, I want Honey Weiss, and I can't get it out here. That is my favorite beer of all time, which was at that store. So
Never had that.
No.
heard of it.
Weiss.
Good.
And then if you want something really delicious, just an idea, they make berry Weiss as well. If you're feeling really creative one night, you mix the honey Weiss and berry Weiss together. You don't knock it till you try it. That's all I'm going to say. Don't
All right,
mute
him now, please. Mute him.
It sounds like something George would really be into.
Wait a minute, this guy. I heard all the beers you're drinking is like peanut butter and jelly stout, 9.4%. Like, so you got to at least give it a try.
Oh, I'll try anything once.
These guys like themselves some peanut butter porters, man. It's
absolutely
for sure.
Yeah, that's too heavy. That's heavy.
Yeah.
So typically I'm a Jack Daniels kind of person, but I go through phases. But yeah, I do like my scotches and I like Jack Daniels. But I go through I dig IPAs too, but I usually go through like 6-month swings. Does that mean I got a problem? I don't know what that means.
I don't
Multiple personalities maybe, but not a problem.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Of course. This guy.
There we go.
Yes, I'll try anything twice.
3 times if he likes it.
It's funny. I was after your last, and I'll jump in here. Hopefully you don't mind, but after the live stream with John, which was like honestly amazing. That was my first, idea of seeing you guys on a live stream, and it really is like nothing I've ever seen. And I try to pay attention to all this stuff. And I was really, really excited for you guys to reach out and be like, hey, you want to be on the show? I was like, oh, yeah, I do. 100%. I, of course, went back after that and I watched other live streams and like the military biker, right? So
the king of the live stream.
The king of the live stream. He's on the side.
So the military, is he on the side chat?
Oh, he's definitely on the side.
He is. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so the military biker, I literally watched that entire live stream because he was so entertaining. Now I mean, the whole thing just kind of works, and the way that you guys do it, it's like nothing I've ever seen before. And like I said, I reached out and let you guys know, like, you really got something good here going on, and I hope you guys continue because this is just amazing. I mean, look at all these people; they're participating in your stream, and the fact that you bring bikes, you're talking bikes and beer. We don't even have to talk about YouTube anymore. That could fulfill.
There he is. Oh shoot, he has. Thanks, man.
Yeah, we're pretty much done with the YouTube talk anyway. We're just gonna talk fun stuff now.
I like it.
Which, I mean, at this point, we're about an hour in. We usually start hitting the side chat and stuff just goes downhill after that.
Well, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Well, if that's going to be the case, then I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be right back if you're okay with that.
Go ahead. We're going to hit the side chat here and see what's going on. Who we got over there? Anybody new over there? We got Military Biker. We know we saw that.
Yeah.
We got Throttle Down Under hanging out. And,
Throttle Down Under. What's up, buddy?
Australia.
What time is it over there? Holy cow.
It's like, what is it, like in the morning, isn't it?
Gotta be. And we got Justin popped in, 99 RU grad, hanging out. Yeah. Our Sturgis travel buddy.
Yes, sir.
And, he hasn't bought the bike yet, but his rental did go up for sale. He sent me a text the other day.
Oh, snap.
That's what you got to do it. You have history with that bike now. You got to do it.
He about ran that bike out of oil.
We have something for him. We got to send that out soon.
We do, actually.
Yeah, we got a little something.
Long Haulers is there.
Yeah, just a little something.
Belle, we got Belle over there on the side. She's been on since the beginning, I believe.
Yeah.
Street gliding.
Mm-hmm.
And the man that we cannot understand, but I can at least read his text, Zedhead Motovlogs over there.
He was drinking something that I would love to find. It's called a tonic wine. And he was pounding back these tonic wines during a Military Biker live stream. And I
just disappeared.
Yeah, well, he did. He fell right off the couch. But
I think I showed up just after he did, and I was like, "Oh, what are you talking about? I don't see him." He was already done by then.
Barbara CVO wants to know how much gas
Oh,
money did
dear
you
Lord.
guys spend going back and forth to Sturgis? And I don't know, every 200 miles, $10,
Yeah,
15
yeah.
bucks.
I mean,
It got cheaper and cheaper, and then it went up and then went back down. So
Yeah.
listen, I know they got Common Core these days. I'm not sure how old Barber CVO is, but you really can do the math on that to figure that out. You know, you just kind of Google the mileage and how many miles your bike gets. There's some division involved, and you got yourself an answer. But no, Barber hit me up on our message Instagram or something like that. He's planning a trip, so he was asking some questions about that. I gave him the website that we use to book our house because I thought that was a great website to use, and they were very easy to deal with. So hopefully he can find something on there. I know he's got a trip planned. I want to say he said May, but I'm not sure. He can correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, they're planning a trip, so that's going to be awesome. I think he said Bednar's might be going with him.
Yeah, a couple of people that sounded like Bednar's and his buddy G, who was in most of his videos. So
yep.
Should be a good
So
set.
I have to jump in real quick if I may.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
So I was just, my wife just pointed out to me that apparently my voice is coming across extremely low. Are you guys getting that too?
Oh yeah, it's hilarious.
Well,
Actually, there have been some
I thought you
comments
sound.
in the side chat. They were like, "This guy needs to do some voiceovers." Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm telling you right now. She's like, your voice is it still sound low right now?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
you sound deep.
Does it really?
Oh yeah.
I thought you were about to start singing "Long Black Train" on us.
Wow. Yeah. So she, ironically, because of the delay, I went back to get a refill, and she's like laughing and letting me hear the voice, and I was like, "What the heck was that?" So I apologize. That is not my voice, but hey, we'll run with it.
Synthesizers and stuff. Then.
Yeah, I'm looking at my settings right now, going,
Yeah,
"What am I doing wrong?"
Well, whatever you did wrong, it's a happy accident because people seem to like it. So
Yeah, absolutely.
No shit.
Start singing Johnny Cash here. Singing.
So are you planning to trailer again when you head back to Sturgis this year, or are you riding?
So we're gonna do things. Well, to answer your question, we're gonna be trailering. I know. Let it out. Eventually, one of these days, we will ride. But the biggest thing for me is the production gear, right? So I'm bringing out so much production gear. There is no way that I can bring all of that from, just on my saddle. My saddlebags right now are completely filled with, to the point where the wife wants to bring a sweatshirt out. She's going to have to hold it, right? Because I got camera gear in there and I got stabilizers everywhere. And so we are going to trailer it out. We're going to do it with the Tundra and going to be using a Joe Hauler, one of their hydraulic systems, I hope, to get the bike out there and just have a good time. But like I said, we got lucky with the Airbnb that we scored, which is like 5 blocks from Main Street. I was checking Airbnb every single day, and the only thing that was available was like Deadwood and a few other places that Spearfish and things like that. But checking it every single day, it was like 10:30 at night, and this place just happened to pop up. And so I don't know if somebody fell out or canceled their deal, but we jumped on that. So yeah, we'll trailer again, but the only reason is because we have so much production gear we're bringing this year.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, like I said, we were lucky we had the trail car, so we were able to do that and still have all the gear. This is my wife saying that you sound like Mike Rowe from Dirty Jobs.
Hey, there's nothing wrong. I actually like the way he sounds, but I'm going to tell you, the way it hit my ears out there, I was like, "Oh my gosh, what just happened?"
Well, most people don't like.
Wife's like, "I kind of like it." Oh, great! I have to walk around with a voiceover the entire time.
Yep, you know what you just did.
Pre-recorded conversation.
That's it.
There you go.
Here we go.
What do we have in the chat? Did I miss something exciting?
There's a lot of folks over here. Everybody's chatting it up, trying to get to the good ones. Anonymous says we're all videographers with a bike problem.
I think I'm a biker with a videographer problem. I don't know.
I like it. So Anonymous, actually, I guess I need to check out Anonymous's channel. I'm going to do that right now. Well, at least I'll subscribe to him so I don't forget. Make a note. Anonymous.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh boy, that's it. Now he's gonna bust on you now.
I know, I'm a little scared. I saw what he did to the military biker, and just that show just completely. I was literally staying to the very end because I'm like, what's going to happen next? I thought you guys set him up to it. Uh-oh.
There you go.
Oh, there's the wife.
So let's talk real quick about your bike. You said you had a 2020 Road Glide?
That is correct. So, yep, 2020 Road Glide Special. Started looking at buying bikes. I went through, after taking so many years off and being older, I knew that I was done with the crotch rocket thing, and I was going to go back into something a little bit different. I wanted a bagger. I wanted the Harley. That's just what I was sold on. I started looking in 2017. They had a lot of sumping issues in the 2017 models, and then the 2018s came out. I was like, oh, maybe they'll get rid of the sumping issues. Nope, kept on going. The 19, and then finally the 20. They're like, hey, we figured it out. And then I guess it was only with certain models, but I got lucky. So far, no sumping on mine. But yeah, so 2020, I finally pulled the trigger, and I will tell you, I would always go through, and I don't know if any of you or anybody on the side chat have ever been through not having a bike for an extended amount of time, but you go through these ups and downs of like literally craving a bike. You'll watch every YouTube video on every bike that you've ever been interested in, and you try to get off of that, and then it comes back a year later. And for me, that's how it always was, especially in 2017, to the point where in 2017, I went down to the Harley Davidson dealership with my father, who I always had a pipe dream of touching my back tire in the Pacific Ocean and riding all the way to Florida and touching my front tire into the Atlantic Ocean, right? So there's a place up in Oceanside that you actually can go down and then just riding across. And I wanted to do that with my dad. And, you know, it's just one of those things where I even brought him down to the dealership, one, to hopefully get him excited about it, but two, because I was thinking maybe it was time to pull the trigger on a bike. And I kept on extending it out. And finally in 2020, I pulled the trigger. And yeah, I tell you what, dang thing nearly drives itself. Love it.
Yeah, it's a great bike.
Yep, it is a great bike. What have you done to it aftermarket wise?
So before I even took it off the lot, truth be told, I was looking at a Street Glide Special first. And just kind of, the Road Glide Special is one of those things that grew on me over time. I hated the look of the shark fairing for the longest time. I thought it was just not aesthetically pleasing. And I just wanted that Street Glide Special. So as I kept on continuing to research and going through those sumping issues we were talking about, the Road Glide started to develop a relationship with me, like behind my back. Like all of a sudden, next thing I know, I was like, hey, that doesn't look that bad. And then it got a hold of me and I couldn't let it go. But I went to the dealership and test rode both of them, the Street Glide and the Road Glide. And I did the Street Glide first, thinking that's probably what I'm going to go with. The second I jumped on the Road Glide, I was like, nope, this is over. This bike's now going to be mine, because it's just that big of a difference. And, you know, the looks grew on me. So from there, before I even took the bike, I made sure that I put the 14-inch. So I got 14-inch Yaffes on there, which I'm 6'3", so that makes it a lot more comfortable of a ride.
Absolutely.
And then because it's a new bike, and, you know, don't beat me up in the comments, but I'm mechanically stupid. So I don't know how to fix anything. I can break stuff like the best of them, but I can't fix anything, especially when it comes down to an engine. So I had to make sure I got all the warranties and everything like that they have to offer. I think my warranties go to like 2085 at this point. But I knew I wanted to step up. I knew we were going to be 2 up some of the time, and I wanted to step up. So I went 30 days with the bike stock. And then I upgraded and I did the stage 1 kit, right? And then I rode that for a few weeks, and then I went to the stage 2 kit so that I could make sure that all of those parts were covered under that warranty that goes till 2085. Because I knew I was going to probably break something. So I went with the stage 2, and then out in Sturgis, meeting up with the Pro Action guys, I did the Pro Action suspension, like I was out there too. So that's ride the bike. Amen. That's exactly how there's not even hope of YouTube University at this point. Like, I do not even mess around with that, because I learned long ago there's always extra pieces. And when I say extra pieces, like, it could only have had 30 pieces to begin with, and I have 31 when I'm done. I have no idea how I do it, but I can break stuff, so I just don't touch it.
That's funny. That's good stuff. Shoot, what are we talking about? Talking about your bike. Do you have any plans for anything else? Any other mods coming up, or you kind of like it where it's at?
Yeah, I mean, as far as engine performance wise, I will tell you, I'm not a big fan of the Screaming Eagle exhaust system I got on there. So I think that I'm going to probably go up with a Reinhardt. It's going to probably be the one thing that I would switch out, just to hear it a little bit better. And my neighbors like that I have the Screaming Eagle system, but and it gave it a deeper rumble. It just doesn't necessarily sound like the bike. Yeah. So I don't, to answer Hudson's questions, I don't know exactly what my numbers are. I have not dynoed it. And truth be told, because of that warranty issue and Harley, voiding warranties going on a dyno, I'm not even going to entertain that until this warranty expires, which, like I told you, is like forever. And it really doesn't bother me none. I did my crotch rocket days. I did my speed thing. It's not anything that I'm really enthralled with, getting the most horsepower and everything like that. I just want to be able to get on it when I want to get on it, when I'm 2 up. The stage 2 kit is honestly amazing. It is amazing. It wakes up the bike. So it is, for right now, I think that I would, other than changing out the exhaust, which I'm not 100% sure I'm going to do, I would say it's just going to be cosmetic stuff, really. I mean, I like everything about it.
Did you do suspension on that?
Yes. So while we were out in Sturgis and we met up with the Pro Action guys, man, they really have a good product. And just the itself, I think we had like 4 people I knew that made that purchase out there, because you get the Sturgis special, if you will. So those guys were amazing getting it dialed in. And I mean, stock Harley suspension is terrible, as you guys know. It is the worst. You feel every single bump.
Sucks.
And my wife will contest, like that was probably, of all the upgrades, like that was the one that she immediately noticed, like 100%. So if you're 2 up, you got to do that right away. But I went with the 13-inch Pro Action, and I love it. I love it. I love that company. I love everything about it. So hopefully going to be doing some more work with them here in the future.
Nice.
Yeah. And that's the other thing I was going to ask you guys about too. And just wondering about, your different plans on what you got coming up as far as videos for this upcoming year that you want to get done. Do you have ideas in your head of like an actual production you want to do, or maybe something that you want to film? And then, as far as, different collaborations that you guys aspire to do besides Peter McKinnon. I heard he's booked. Sorry.
Take a Matty Hapoya as a distant second, but it's
wow, he is deep. When he brings up Matty into the photo, right now he is deep into this. While you guys are all sleeping, this guy is up to date with everything. I got you. I see you now.
That? Last year, for the anniversary of the World Record Ride, I wanted to put together like a 1-year complete video, and I said to these guys, I think it'll be like 9 minutes long. And then when I got to like 13 minutes, I was like, I think it's probably going to be like maybe 20 minutes long. So 45 minutes later, I uploaded it, and it's something I really, I think I did more for us than I did for YouTube,
Yeah.
because there's those videos that you definitely, do for yourselves and not necessarily for anybody else. But I want to do the same thing for Sturgis.
Yeah.
I mean, Sturgis, we went as a group of friends and, obviously did the videos that we put out. That second day going to Sturgis, one of my favorite videos that, I've ever done. And I want to do that, that whole thing complete. So that before Sturgis is, and do it before Sturgis. So that's a big plan.
You better get cracking, buddy.
Yeah.
So what theater is that coming out on? Because that's going to be 2 hours plus.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It'll be a documentary, and there you go. Sell it to
a 4-part, 10-part. How many?
That's a Ryan Erlacher special right there.
Yeah, and it is a documentary. I was like, it's going to be a short film. I was like, no, now it's an HBO special.
So, and that's funny that you bring that up, because different ways that you decide to film can actually, if you know that ahead of time, will actually change the outcome of how you're filming it, right? So if you know it's going to be a documentary, it's the film itself will take it'll grow its own life into that documentary form. If you go in with no idea, and this is for all of your viewers as well, if you go in with no idea and think that you're just going to turn on your GoPro and record what you're doing that day and you're going to upload it, I'm going to tell you right now, you might get a one-hit wonder, right? You might be Milli Vanilli for a little bit, but I will tell you that it's going to crash and burn. And you're not really going to get those subscribers that you really want. You want organic subscribers, and the golden number is 1,000. Not 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, but organic 1,000 subscribers, which means that it does not matter what product you throw out there. Those 1,000 people are going to watch it. And that's what you should strive to. I don't worry about the numbers. We all want to grow our channels and hope people are enjoying our content. I want to make sure that on this particular channel compared to the other channel, that I do it slower, more organic, and that I get those 1,000 subscribers faster, because that's how you can create waves. Because you get 1,000 organic, they're going to share it, and everything else just happens underneath it. So always come up with it.
Real quick, thanks, Zed, for joining, man. We appreciate it. Get some sleep before you got to go to work. But that's a discussion that we've actually had quite a bit, is trying to do that more frequently, planning out exactly what's that weird noise? Planning out exactly what we're gonna do, what we want to film, what shots we want to get. We talk about it all the time, and then when we don't do it, we just see what a disaster it is, and what a struggle it is for George to put that crap together and make something worth watching. So we're trying to get better at that. That's a big deal for us this year.
Yep. So
and we see channels that, you see these channels come out and we know who they are. They put up a video and that video gets 5,000 views, and all of a sudden they've got 600 subs. They've got 800 subs. Now they've got 4 videos out. They've got 1,200 subs. And you got to be consistent and plan consistently. And that is, one of the biggest things about this platform. I
would 100% agree. And that algorithm changes all the time. Yep. I wouldn't even try to focus on that. And I did a lot of research, like I said, of all the things that, that's a good question for the one that you just popped up there. We can get into that right now. And I can just share my experiences, and I'm sure you guys have the same. But doing this a second time through, I really got some clarity on what's important and what's not. And honestly, I would tell people, besides just creating your initial videos and getting them out there, the magic number before you even should analyze anything on your YouTube channel, and I mean this 100%, is 100 videos. Do not analyze anything on your YouTube channel until you get to 100. And you work that backwards, and you let that sink in for a second. Because 100 videos, if somebody's just starting out in YouTube, and let's put it this way, I've done this before, and I still am not going to judge my product. I want to bring everybody good product, don't get me wrong. But I'm not going to judge my channel or the direction that's going till I hit 100 videos. I'm not even at 50 yet. So I'm going to hit 100 videos before I kind of look at everything. The biggest thing is for you to get out and create, make those videos the best way that you know how at the time, because each video is going to get better. You're going to learn something from each of those videos. So for anybody that's looking to get into it, the bottom line is just get your first one out there as fast as you can. If you're going to be somebody that's going to be a talking head and you want to vlog in the middle of it, get over this fear right here, right? The faster you get over this fear. And I'm going to tell you the fastest way to do it, the way that I've done it. I want you to go to the busiest area that you possibly can, the mall, downtown, wherever it is. I want you to take your camera, and I don't want you to hit record. I just want you to walk around with the camera in your hand, facing it towards you, and just tell fairy tales to it. The faster you can do that in front of an audience without hitting record, you're going to realize people aren't looking at you the way that you think they're looking at you, right? So if you go around and pretend like you're recording, you're not even hitting record, you will get over that fear a lot faster. This gets easier in time, but it won't until you actually put that time in and just get your first video up. Everybody has to have a first video, and it's one that you're going to go back and regret. Just trust me, you will. And just get it up there, man. You have to get up there and put that video out and plan it out. Plan it out.
That's interesting. It's weird talking to a camera, man.
Yeah,
it's weird.
The little black box. You know,
it's like hearing. We're all old enough here to remember the answering machine, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you heard yourself on the answering machine being played, man, you wanted to run out of that room as fast as you could. You're like, man, you listened to me talk like that the entire time? Are you out of your mind?
I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes when George, posts our videos, sometimes I just watch them with no volume because I don't want to hear myself.
So, and that's pretty funny. I'll let you guys all in a little secret. I'm not going to say this anywhere else but here. So it will never come out on my channel.
Exclusive.
You ready for the exclusive?
Yes.
So I used to be a country singer. True story.
Long Black Train. I knew you sang that song.
No, that's not it. But I had a producer that I was the same way. I used to hate the sound of my voice. Hated it. So what did he do to solve that? He had me sing a song and record it, and then he put me in a room and played that song to me for 8 hours over and over and over and over again. And just like talking in the camera is hard, that whole hearing your voice is hard, it gets easier in time to the point where you can start pointing out. You mentioned before, like saying that's all of our flaws, right? You're going to say a lot. I think we should make a drinking game out of it, to be honest with you. Definitely. But I do it just as bad, and you have to catch yourself. But if you do things over and over and over again, it becomes easier, and you'll get over it. And that's the only way, because I hated the sound of my own voice. I couldn't be in the room. I would just leave, just take his word for it. He sat me in the room, played my voice over and over and over again, till the point where I was like, okay, I can see where he's telling me to make corrections, or this is what we have to do with this part. So, that's what I would say. Just get over the fear of looking in the camera and feeling uncomfortable, or people staring and watching you, because they honestly don't care. They really don't. They're actually more interested, and they might, oh crap, stand by.
Oh, you got it.
Yo, that's classic right there.
Use that.
I think he's got Bell's palsy.
If it didn't go viral before, it just did now. Right? So it'll reset itself here. So the Nikon webcam utility feature on here is in beta, so I'm just kind of working with it. So yeah, you just got to get out there, get over it. Film. People are going to be more enthused to talk to you about what you're doing. And I think the biggest fear for new YouTubers is they're scared to tell people that they are YouTubers, or that they are content creators, or that they are videographers, and that if they give somebody their information and, oh my gosh, they're going to go to my channel and see that I'm really not Peter McKinnon, and therefore they're going to look down. No, they're not. They're actually they're probably a little jealous, to be honest with you, that you're out there and you're taking that leap of faith, because that's what it is. You are vulnerable at that point, that you're throwing yourself out there. The other, to answer the question, gentleman asked, new YouTubers, don't try to impress everybody. You're not going to do it. People are going to watch your content. And if you get a thumbs down, do not think that that is the end of it. Let that drive you. Try to find that area through your analytics on why somebody would either leave your video or go away or get better. But there's trolls out there. We've all seen them. People that are just, that's all they do all day long is go around and find videos to thumb down. And to be honest with you, I can't think, I'm trying to think in my head right now of any video I've actually ever given a thumbs down to, because that takes a lot of effort. I'd rather just click away. So think of that at the time where people are either they're mad at you or they just hate themselves and they go around and do that. So it has nothing to do with the content unless you put out a really crappy content. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure there's crappy content out there that's given bad advice where people either damage something or they hurt themselves. And yeah, that's going to probably give you a thumbs down. It's just a dumb idea. Right. But for me personally, I just leave the video.
Yeah.
Right.
So just don't take it to heart. You're going to have to learn the process and grow with it. It's fun. I use it as a stress relief. Truth be told, I enjoy sitting down here and creating in my studio and just seeing what I can come up with out of just video footage. And when projects come in and opportunities come in and do commercials and things like that, that's when I really, really get excited. Right. That's when I really start to bring out stuff. But video editing has always been a stress relief. The filming part, that's the hard part. Getting back into here, as lonely as it is, it's just a stress relief. I get that creative flow going and it's off to the races. And before we end all this, you have to let me do an around the horn real quick, and I'll explain that.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, not right now?
Say sure now.
Oh.
No, unless you're over.
No.
No.
Yeah, you're gonna need a lot more beer for the around the horn. Trust me.
But I told these guys before, like, I don't know, it was a while ago, but I told them, we didn't make it big until we get some thumbs down and we get some people talking trash and some haters. Like, if you're not getting that, then not enough people are seeing your stuff.
That's, you know what? That's really true. People don't think about YouTube is only showing your video to 10% of your subscribers.
Correct.
Let that sink in for a second. So 10% of your subscribers are going to get notified that you have a new video out. And then it's going to test different markets. So you might get a thumbs down if I'm a 16-year-old, looking for a Fortnite video game, and YouTube is testing the market, and you come up as a suggested underneath, like how to beat, I don't even know anything about Fortnite besides the name, but whatever it is. And then you're there, they're going to be like, wait a minute, what's this? Has nothing. I just watched 30 minutes of a live stream of guys talking about beer and motorcycles. Thumbs down. Like, that's not what I wanted. So you have to keep those into play too. That they're going to throw that out to different markets to see what sticks. And YouTube is a business. Keep that in mind. They're a business. Yeah. They're going to try to help that their end game. So they want people to view. They want their watch time to be up. And to the one final tip for the gentleman that I was asking about new YouTubers and getting into it, in the beginning, keep your videos shorter. That's probably the best thing that I learned from my other channel and this channel is keep those videos. And I just saw it recently on a YouTube video that came up as a suggested, actually, that talked about YouTube videos and a dating relationship, right? You're literally asking these people to invest their time in a world and a society that really doesn't have a lot of time. People are swiping through. I've seen some people go through Instagram literally this fast. I don't even know how they see what they see. So if you ask somebody to watch a video that's 14 minutes long and they don't know you, they're not staying around for 14 minutes. Mm-hmm. They're just not going to do it. But if you keep something entertaining that's 4, 5, 6 minutes long, you might be able to get across that 50% watch time threshold, which should be a goal, versus they only watch 20% if you did a 14-minute video. So in the beginning, until you actually create a following, keep those videos shorter. It's a bonus because now you can make 2, 3, 4 videos on one day of filming that you spent making the other stuff. So that's what I would recommend.
Yeah, that is good advice. I mean, I think the other big thing that people get hung up on too, and let me know if you agree, is you don't need fancy equipment. It's better to have the equipment that you're going to have and know that equipment really well than it is to go out and buy crazy expensive camera. I mean, we film our whole channel on GoPros, iPhones, and Austin's got a drone.
100%.
That's everything.
No, I'll tell you right now, the iPhone, when it comes down to the viewing, you have to think of the viewer, right? And so shaky footage is bad, but you can get rid of shaky footage with an iPhone and a gimbal on an iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
And I did it for a long time. Like that actually, you just have to get good footage of the cameras you have. And honestly, I would focus more on lighting than I would on the camera gear. That's probably my biggest regret in filmmaking, has been my ignorance and my refusal to learn lighting. And lighting is actually key. You can take a honestly, like iPhones right now will shoot in better quality than most DSLRs. So you have to let that sink in. They are to the point of mirrorless technology. And now with the LiDAR systems that they're using and creating depth of field, like it's honestly game over. I'm just blown away that if you're looking to get into it, you don't have to spend money on different gear. You can use your phone as long as you get the footage and focus on that audio. I can't say that enough.
Yeah, audio
Forget
is
about
big.
the camera. Your audio is the most important. It's 60% of what people watch. And that's a subliminal thing that happens in your mind, right? So other than my long black train voice that I got going on right now, I would tell you that the audio is going to be what keeps your audience around. It doesn't matter what you're showing. If you have bad audio, they're out. They're out. So,
and we just went through that tonight. I uploaded a video where some of the audio got scrambled during the export, and I watched the video when it went up, but didn't watch it all the way through. And we had a section where the audio just leveled down terribly, and I'm in the process of re-uploading it. Like, we took it down. I can't.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you have to do that. And when it comes down to speaking of getting things uploaded, and we talked about consistency and just getting those videos up there, you just have to make sure that quality is what people will expect from your channel. So if your first video, which should be the best video that you do at that time, every video should be the best video that you do at that time. And then looking forward, you have to know that next week's video is going to be the best video that you can do. If people are looking at that quality, you cannot go backwards. You'll lose subscribers left and right. And ask me how I know. I did it with my other channel where I kind of just threw audio to the back burner, and I was like, hey, it doesn't really matter. And people were dropping like flies, seriously dropping like flies. Even enthusiasts were dropping like flies. They just can't deal with bad audio. So yeah, very crucial in my opinion.
That's good advice.
Absolutely.
Wow.
George dropped that video tonight, and I mean, our fault, like when it was in private in the back, because he's had it up for a little bit now and scheduled to release tonight. I didn't get around to watching it, but I started watching it when it went live tonight, and all of a sudden the audio got crazy and you couldn't hear us talking over the music. And I texted and I was like, George, you gotta take this down quick. Like this is not Baggers and Brews stuff, man. This is a mess. And then he went and saw it and knew right away what happened or whatever. And got it.
And that's okay. And that's the other thing I tell people all the time. If for some reason I always do the next day, the next day review of what I edit, right? So you go to bed, you edit something, and you'd be surprised how many times that you think you got something really good, and George can contest to this. Like, you think you got something on the money, and little do you know, you woke up the next morning and you watch that video and you're like, oh God, I can't even tell anybody about this. This is terrible. So you got to give yourself some time, and it's okay if you put something up there, and if you see something like that, just, you can pull that back down. I mean, don't make it a all the time kind of thing,
Habit,
but then just re-upload it. Nobody's going to be the wiser, and just make sure that, you know, you just keep trying to make sure that, and it's crucial. Like you said, a lot of people, believe it or not, do not rewatch their videos after they upload them. And I'll tell you right now, I rewatch every one of my videos from beginning to end, from the second that I upload it. Even when I have it scheduled out, I click on that video and I watch it from beginning to end, and I make sure that, okay, it looks good. But weird things happen, especially in YouTube world, and on the back end and what they try to compress. You might watch that video one day, and before it goes live, it got tweaked the next day, and you're like, what just happened? I know that I watched this thing. So it happens. I've done it. I've pulled videos down 100%. My live stream before this past live stream, I didn't even publish, to be honest with you, because it was so bad. And I'll tell you that the live stream, you guys changed my live stream mind. You literally exploded my live stream mind by your setup and how you did it using StreamYard, which I'd never even heard of before, to be honest with you. I was using OBS, and I was just having all sorts of issues, and there was choppiness and things like that. So, you know, it's those types of things where this live stream kind of helped me create my live stream. And, you know, just having that quality, everybody looks at this live stream, I guarantee it, and I'm sure they could say it in the side comments as well. They'll look at this live stream that this is a very entertaining, well put together professional live stream. And I've seen a lot of live streams. I really have. And so it's just one of those things, the quality of content, putting that out the way that you guys do it, is like, it helped me out as well. So
well, we appreciate you saying that. Yeah. And the check's in the mail. But Anonymous says he can't get this song out of his head since I brought this up. And I just wanted to let everyone know, the 39 of you that are still in here, if you're here at the end, Ryan is actually going to sing Long Black Train for everybody. So if you just stick around, you'll get to see that at the end.
Wow. Now one, I don't know if you just did really well at keeping 39 people and watching to the very end.
Well, that was
you literally just created clickbait during a live video. I don't know which one it was. It was very well played.
Hopefully both. So stick around. Tell your friends.
Yep, there was quite a few people saying, "Hey, sing something."
Yeah,
yeah,
we did get some of that in the side. So this is the portion of the program, I think George knows what's coming, where I'm going to need George and Austin to cover for about a minute and a half. Because
that's good. I can catch up on some of the comments. I'm way behind.
You guys go for it. I'm going to go and take care of some business real quick. I'll be right back.
He's getting old guy.
Yeah. All right, George, it's all you.
There you go. I knew that was happening. So yeah, it's funny, Ryan. You know, you say about like our live stream, and when we started our YouTube channel, we didn't even know there was a motovlog community until some people reached out to us and they were like, "Hey, we like your vids, and you know, we want to have you on a live stream." I was like, "What? We're going to be on a live stream?" And it was like all three of us came to my house, and you know, we were on this live stream. But it's in the motovlog community, it's been a thing. And I think in the beginning, it was a thing for people to get their watch hours up, to help them get monetized with that 4,000 watch hours. But there have been some live streams that have really stuck around. And I mean, I'm happy that we kept doing it. Yeah. You know, it's been a good time. And there's a number of other ones that I'll let you know about. But there's a few of them out there that I think that I really enjoy watching. You know, and
absolutely.
I was shocked when I saw yours pop up on Monday, and I was like, "Oh, look at that!" And I think it's a great format. And I think if there's people here who haven't, you know, didn't know Ryan was doing lives over in Full Throttle Hog, it's Monday night. Around what time do you do them?
So it's going to be 7 p.m. Pacific, which is late hours for you, so 10 o'clock Eastern. Yeah. Honestly, it'll just be Motovlogger Monday is what I've called it. Just kind of came to me of just about getting motovloggers together in the same room to maybe talk about different ideas. And I brought it up this past week. that what people don't realize is that YouTubers in a whole in your genre is not your competition. And that's what people need to let that sink in. It is not your competition. They're not your competitors. You almost want people to do the same content that you are and releasing it about the same time, because it creates a buzz. It actually helps everybody as a whole.
Yep.
So Motovlogger Mondays is just going to be, we're different motovloggers and YouTubers that are showing motorcycle content. We can hang out. We can talk about things, hopefully help others. Like, I mean this in all sincerity, like help others come into this community and start creating. And if I can help them create, because, you know, it's a human nature thing. You want to do this, whether you want to admit it or not. And that sounds weird, but let me explain. You know, getting out there and creating, it's almost liberating to be able to do it. And people are watching these channels and watching these because they're either trying to live vicariously through the adventure you're going on, or they want to be the person that's filming the adventure that you're going on. If they're in the entertainment realm, or they're learning something, that's it. That's all you have. If it's entertaining, there is going to be some part of them. It might not be 100%, but it's going to be some part of them that says, hey, I would really like to do that. I just don't know how. So if I can help people along the way, and other motovloggers and you know, even bigger channels want to get involved and hopefully show up to those live streams. So Mondays at 7 p.m., Motovlogger Monday. We won't be here this week, which was told to me while I was live by my wife. I totally forgot. We're in the middle of a big project. But yeah, after that, we'll be Mondays, 7 o'clock, just getting people. Would love to have everybody come by.
That's awesome. I'm excited for that. I love that idea. Question from Hudson Moto Visuals. Get cracking and popping when a moto vlog with my GoPro 8 with a Purple Panda mic. How can I fix it?
That sounds like a connection issue right there.
Yeah. That's what I chat. Or a bad wire, bad cable that's kind of starting to be touch and go. That's usually what cracking and popping is. I mean, unless you have some kind of a dead cat on that mic. I'm not familiar with the Purple Panda, but you have something that's rubbing against that mic. Maybe that could cause that type of noise, but probably connection. That's where I'd start.
And then the next question is it happening in between your cuts, or actually just as you're in the middle of a long take, it's cracking and popping? Because there's a solution for that as well.
Anonymous says to check your old videos too, because they take them down to 720 and you need to go back and make them 1080. I guess he's talking about YouTube messing with your videos. Anybody ever notice that?
I haven't noticed that, but here at Baggers and Brews, Anonymous, we do film in 4K. So, and
it's funny because I film in 4K, but I've always uploaded in 1080.
Do you really?
100%. So I film in 4K. I export in 1080.
So why is that?
So because YouTube does not necessarily allow right now true 4K.
No.
It's not going to allow that. The highest you're going to be able to get to is 1080. So if you're filming in 4K and you're compressing down to 1080, you're actually getting a better quality video because it's got so much data to work with that if I try to, even if YouTube offered 4K right now viewing, I probably would still film in 4K and compress down to 1080, because the vast majority of people, if you look at your phone, chances are you have that set for auto when you're watching YouTube videos, unless you manually set each video that you're watching for 1080. Or if you're on a big screen TV and you want to take advantage of that, that's the only time you're going to do that. That is honestly probably 3% of the viewers. So there's a little, gear icon when you're watching your YouTube videos. If you want to see that it's playing whatever it is, it's probably in 480, or it's in auto, which is probably going to be around 480 anyway. But you can change that by marking those settings. The other thing is something I changed a little bit ago is I actually film in 1080, right, by 940. That's how I'm doing my edits. So therefore, if you were to watch any of my latest videos that came out, I guess minus the live stream because I didn't edit that, but any of the latest videos, and you were to turn your phone to the side, which is a good question. Do you guys watch your videos this way or do you watch them this way? Vertical or
I
horizontal?
watch horizontal.
Like a movie, right? Like a big screen.
Yeah, so do I.
Turn them.
Okay, it depends on the video for me. If I'm like what I'm seeing, I turn it over.
Right. If I just check on it and I'm not sticking around long, I might be vertical. But if I actually am watching the video, it's going to watch it all.
I record in 2:1, or excuse me, I edit in 2:1, because therefore, when you take any of my videos, I would say in the past, let's call it 2 months, and you were to turn your phone to the side, my video stretches out wider across your iPhone or your Samsung, whereas the 1080 is a little shorter. The 1920 by 1080 is a little bit shorter, right? So I'll do 1920 by 960, which extends that out a little bit, and it takes up more of the full screen of somebody's phone because that's what I'm thinking. Somebody will watch a video and be like, okay, I'm interested, and I turn it this way. I want it to be able to capture them for a little bit longer, even if it's 8 seconds. I time everything by 8 seconds. If I can buy 8 seconds more of their time, it's worth it.
Hey, real quick, I just want to cover this. F. Caputo asked if you guys ever make it out to the East Coast, and it looks like he's about to hop off because it looks like he might be military. He said he's got a rack out. He's got PT in the morning. So just wanted to let him know, the three of us, Baggers and Brews, we are on the East Coast. We're in New Jersey. Full Throttle Hog here. He's West Coast, and I'll let him answer that for you.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for your service. Definitely appreciate that. And I will tell you that when I make it out to the East Coast on my bike, you hopefully are following me on YouTube or Instagram or somebody. I'm going to make so much noise that I'm coming out to the East Coast on my bike. I'm going to be fired up. I definitely will be meeting up with these guys if I make it out to the East Coast. So you'll hear about it that way. I honestly have a vision of getting out to areas, because Arizona's right here for me and places that I can get to quickly. But if I cross over to the East Coast land, like I really have a vision of trying to meet up with all the different people I've met through social media in the motorcycle community and in the motovlogging community, that I would be able to just be able to spend a whole bunch of time with everybody. And I think that in itself would create you think about it this way, if we were to create a collaboration video on one run where we got some of it doesn't even have to be the biggest motovlogger names, but just motovloggers in general, and had a collaboration video. I mean, I'm in. So if you guys ever do that, just count me in. I'll come out and we'll figure that out. But just getting everybody together, just to kind of meet up and put, handshakes to faces, if you will.
Absolutely. And listen, we'll tell you what we've told a lot of people on this. Most people, when they come to the East Coast for rallies, they think of Daytona and they think of Laconia, which great rallies, whatever, but never gets mentioned is the Ocean City, Maryland. Ocean City Bike Fest is a fantastic rally. Ocean City, Maryland is a really cool town, and the rally is really good, and they have great. That is usually in mid-September.
Yep.
2 weeks after Labor Day.
Yes.
So that's going to be pretty much right around. So if it's 2 weeks after that, that means you're really close to the Ozarks rally. Then I would assume.
Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Well, no, but that's not I think there's an Ozarks actual rally, right? Like there's the rally at the Ozarks. Is that what it is? It's like 2 weeks after Sturgis.
Well, I'm not sure. That's a good question. If anybody in the side chat knows, I know Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue was literally a few days. It started like the Wednesday or Thursday after Ocean City, Maryland this year, and that was actually the rally that we were planning to get to this year, and then it backfired just because of some time off issues.
Okay, so because I'm stubborn, it's called Bike Fest Lake of the Ozarks. It's September 15th through the 19th.
Okay, so that's right. That's right before Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue.
Yeah.
So when is your event?
When is which one?
The
one
Ocean
City, Maryland is
20th. What is it? 20th.
What was it, Austin?
September 16th through the 20th.
Yeah, it's like a Wednesday or Thursday to Sunday.
That's
Okay,
Sunday.
so that's where that crosses over right there. Is that September 15th to the 19th, and then September 16th to the 20th is what you're saying? Okay,
Yeah.
that's why I thought it kind of crossed over. But that would be interesting to do because I don't plan on doing them all in one year, obviously. But that gives me an idea of how I can hit up maybe both, right? Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue, and the Maryland one in the same trip. Just a thought.
Yeah. Well, you'd have to come out and hit the Ocean City, Maryland one, and then head back to Arkansas.
Yeah,
I got to make it back to California sooner or later, right?
Yeah, it's one of the rallies
Or
that
not.
Yeah, true.
Or
All right,
not.
I'm going to take another quick break. Got to grab another beer. While you guys are checking in the chat.
OC Rally is cool. PSP Tommy G says, OC Rally is one of my favorites that I've been to. I mean, just for chilling and having a good time. I mean, you're not really going to do too much riding, but Ocean City, Maryland is a really cool town. The Strip has, endless amounts of bars and restaurants. And I think that they put on some of the best music that you're going to get at a rally other than Sturgis, who gets amazing names. But Ocean City gets some really big names too. Last year they had an amazing lineup scheduled before COVID ruined it all. But I've seen some good concerts there, and I don't know what other rallies
have big names like that out here. Out here, nobody. I mean, I'm sure there's some stuff.
Like I don't ever hear, like when I look up like stuff for Daytona, I don't ever see really much of anything about their concerts. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, and if you're in a side chat and you've been to Daytona, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't ever hear like big name bands being at Daytona or Laconia or Lake George, Americade. What else? Arizona Bike Week? I don't know. Do they have concerts? I've never really looked into Arizona Bike Week.
David Arias said you also Shore to the Roar. I think he's probably meaning Roar to the Shore.
That is not.
Well, there's one out in Erie, Pennsylvania that's called Roar to the Shore as well.
Yeah.
The Roar to the Shore in Wildwood, New Jersey is no more. They will not be. The city of Wildwood has decided not to host that rally. Tommy, no, we are not doing Sturgis this year.
Nope.
I'd like to do Sturgis every year, but not this year. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, and the thing about Ocean City is, the vendors there. It's the best assembly of vendors that I've seen.
Yes.
Outside of Sturgis, and I got to tell you, even almost better than Sturgis, the vendors are really concentrated to like 2 areas. So you don't have to go, like out to Black Hills Harley and then to downtown Sturgis and then, to wherever else for vendors. Like all the vendors are either downtown at their convention center or they're out at the stadium. I forget the name of that stadium that's out there, but
Shorebird Stadium.
So
yeah.
So North Coast says Gettysburg is likely happening this year. These guys have been to Gettysburg. A couple of us have been to Johnstown, to Thunder in the Valley, right?
Yes.
I
wasn't overly impressed with Gettysburg when we went. I think Austin, you went with me, right?
I was there.
That wasn't very big. But I mean, it wasn't a far ride for us, a couple hours, so it wasn't a big deal. But I mean, that wasn't that impressive to me. For Ocean City, between the vendors and the music, and then just the fact that it's a beach town with just an unlimited amount of restaurants and bars, like you really can't beat it for just for chilling and having a good time. Like I said, you're not gonna. I mean, I guess you can ride inland to Maryland and do some of the back roads out there in the woods there, but it's the riding's, it's no Sturgis, but it's definitely a like just chill and have a good time kind of rally.
Yeah. And Jeannie says the drunk bus. I mean, another nice thing about Ocean City is, at night you can basically park your bike and they have a drunk bus that rides all over town. That will pick you up and drop you off, and
your bike won't get towed.
And your bike is at a hotel or at your hotel or wherever you're staying, and the town is nice.
You haven't lived until you've been on the drunk bus with Belligerent Bert.
Yeah.
Is that an alter ego or is that a real person?
I've
Oh,
learned that's
a
an
very real
alter.
person. That's a very
It's a real
real
person.
Because it's funny because
you might actually find them.
I also have an alter ego. So I actually have two. And of course, you can't give yourself names for your alter ego. They're given to you through
Right.
years of experience. So I have Rex and I have Rob. Everybody loves Rex. Everybody hates Rob. So all I have to do after a night of partying is wake up the next morning, look over at the wife and say, who showed up? And if she says Rob, I got a lot of honeydews to do for the rest of the day, or I got to make a lot of phone calls. So,
Oh man,
but everybody loves Rex.
Nice.
yeah.
So we actually, Ryan, we actually did a video of from Ocean City, all bloopers. It didn't do real well, but it is funny.
Oh, it was
Check
fun,
it out.
It is Bird on the Drunk Bus.
So blooper reels are a lot of fun to make, and to be honest, they typically, unless you have a huge following, they're not going to do well. But it is one of those things that once your channel grows to a volume that you have those organic 1,000 that I told you about, you literally will have people not only watching that, but they are going to go back. From my experience, they're going to go back and share those videos. So those are the ones that you still want to capture, you still want to upload. Like I said, don't really look at the numbers right now because blooper reels those are the ones that are going to go viral, to be honest with you, because you're going to create so much of a buzz feed that people are going to start sending it to other motovloggers and other vloggers pretty soon that we're all going to know about this guy in this bus that I'm going to look at later.
Belligerent Bert.
Belligerent Bert.
You're gonna have to go back.
Maybe.
That's funny.
I don't think I'm belligerent. I think you guys are exaggerating.
So was it a hard alcohol drink or was it the beer?
Oh
It's
no,
always
it's almost always the beer, but it's just an extreme excess.
You know, it's so funny too. I was just thinking.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
Wait a
Yep,
minute.
I don't know what I was
going to say. I want to know.
I'll do it.
I was just gonna say. I mean,
I'll go then.
You go.
I blame the Piney Princess because she's my handler, and if Belligerent Burton is out, then it's on her. She's not doing it right.
Wow.
Now we'll see if she's paying attention to the live stream upstairs or not.
See if she comes downstairs.
And then if she does get mad, just be like, "Hey, that was just a test. I was just going to make sure that you were
just the
there."
test, just seeing.
That's a good way to bail yourself out.
Yes,
That's funny.
20 years of experience will do that for you.
So before I forget, I'm gonna do this around the horn. So what I want to do for Motovlogger Monday, when I have guests on, I'm gonna ask them the same 4 questions at the end of having them on. Now that I've got 3 of you here and I'm on your show and I'm pretty much hijacking it,
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you all the same questions and we're gonna go around the horn. All right. So you guys can pick whichever order you want to go in, but the first
There's no
question,
drinking involved in this?
unless you say and then you have to take a drink.
I got it ready.
So from your current location, you are going to Sturgis, and you get to ride on any bike that you choose, and it can't be one that you've owned. What are you riding? We'll start with you, George.
Wow, you can make me say Goldwing? I mean, listen, my bike, I love my bike. If probably an Ultra. I would say probably an Ultra. You know.
So it can't just be a different year of the same model you've owned?
No, it cannot be a bike that you've owned.
So I would probably then say a Road King.
Okay. And I'm going with a Road Glide Ultra myself. Comfort.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So you're on the same ride. This is question number 2. You're on the same ride, and you get to bring one person with you, alive or dead. Who's it going to be? Go ahead, George.
Oh, man.
Alive or dead?
Alive or dead.
Wow. I'm bringing my grandfather.
I like it.
That's hands down. That's the answer.
Oh, wow. Alive or dead? I mean, if we're going... I'm going to go John Wayne because I just want to hang out with him.
There we go. There's nothing wrong with that.
What the hell? Jimmy Rourke.
Jimmy Rourke.
Jimmy Rourke.
Mike Rourke. That crazy dude. Yeah.
What?
Okay.
I need another beer.
Yeah.
He never
Of all the people alive or dead, he just went with a Rourke. Anybody
Yeah,
else?
Rourke.
Okay. All right. Okay. So you're on this trip to Sturgis with the bike that you've chosen and the person and the company that you're with. You get to have one alcoholic beverage with that somebody. What's it going to be?
Oh,
Jack Daniels.
My man.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say, it's especially if I'm hanging out with old John Wayne, it's probably gonna be a bourbon of some type.
Yep. Same here. Bourbon of some sort.
All the bourbons in the world, you guys are going to go with Jack Daniels. Remember, you don't. there's
Not
no
me.
money.
Not
So,
me.
I'm going with Jack because that was his drink. So that would be the
Oh, okay. That makes sense. I like that.
yeah.
Why you know sentimental and mushy this guy over here?
No, that's a good question, man. I'm not bringing Jimmy Rourke with me. I mean, for Christ's sake. He might have meant Mickey. He might have meant Mickey Rourke. We're not sure.
Are you sure you didn't mean? I knew it. He meant Mickey Rourke. I knew he didn't mean. Who's Jimmy Rourke?
I don't know.
Wait, so far we got three different names for the Rorik here, by the way.
Yeah, it's Jimmy Rourke.
Okay. This is derailed by
Oh.
this is
You didn't see
Well,
this coming.
Baggers and Brews.
Question 4.
So-
What's question 4?
all right. So you are in Sturgis, or actually you're going to Sturgis on the bike you've chosen with the company that you had and the drink that you have chosen. You get to ask this subject that you're with or this person one last question, and they only get to answer this one last question. What's your question going to be?
Oh shit, dude.
Why the heck did you get all that plastic surgery done?
Of course he's going to say that. He's like, that was Jimmy, right?
Yeah. Why? Why? That's
George?
All right, George, yours is going to be a feeler. Like, this is what's going to make this live stream. People rewatch this right here. You've literally touched. I got the feels going right now. Like, seriously, that's. I'm
like
waiting for yours.
I mean that's a tough one, and I mean talking about obviously somebody a lot of people don't know, but there's a secret that my grandfather kept for a very long time, and he told the family he was drafted and he enlisted. So I would definitely ask him why he did that.
Okay.
And, I did that research later on in life. I had a friend do it, and obviously the enlistee numbers, drafting numbers are different, and that's how we found out.
That's awesome.
That would be my question.
Oh yeah, it's just you.
I think I would ask John Wayne over our bourbon what it was like to live in America when men were men and before the PC world took over.
That's legit. You know what? Email me the answer if you would, because I want to know as well.
I want to know as well too, because that's when I was meant to be alive.
So I think that those are going to be my 4 questions that I'll ask every guest that I ever have on my show.
I like it.
Therefore, everybody will see that coming. And I'm hoping in 2 weeks, I'm going to have my first guest on the show if it all works out. So it has nothing to do with next week's kind of deal. But I'm so excited for next week. I wish I could just tell you guys.
Well, we're excited to hear about that when you get back. So listen, we're at 2 hours, but there's another subject I wanted to kind of touch on before we actually wrap this up. And that is, as everyone knows, last week, Harley came out with their virtual unveiling of the 2021 models. And I kind of just wanted to touch on that real quick since it's kind of a hot topic. Did you get to watch that?
So I did. And I watched it. I watched it live from my local dealership where I bought my bike, El Cajon Harley Davidson. So I had a chance to, they kind of sent out announcements saying that they were going to have a little event and have people there. It's COVID, so they let, and I'd hit them up ahead of time and said, look, I'd love to come film this event. And they responded back, look, it's COVID. We have no idea who's going to be there, but yeah, absolutely, come on by. So I was able to come down there, and they didn't really have a lot of the new bikes set up, but I did watch that virtual event with them inside the dealership floor. So yeah, I had a chance to see that live.
Good stuff.
Okay. Where the heck did my paper go? Oh. So, well, first of all, what did you actually think of the production?
The production itself, I thought was fantastic. To be honest with you, the production, when I look at the production value, and as creators, as all of you will know, like you almost analyze every piece of production that you look at it to either get ideas or things to stay away from, right? And it could be, because of personal reasons or whatever, but I always look at productions as to get ideas or things to stay away from. If I got more ideas than things I'm going to stay away from, I always look at that as a really good production. And it really gets bad when you're watching movies, like where they're like big time movies, and you're watching these productions and you're trying to see, you're like, oh, that's a good camera move. Well, of course it is, you idiot. They are professionals, right? So as far as the production was concerned, I thought it was fantastic. I really enjoyed them using just real players that we know, like just from our community, versus going with actors like using Lance and his son and doing that stuff that I've followed on Instagram for a while, and the other characters that they actually used as real humans. I thought that piece was very interesting. In me being a creator, I loved that piece. So as far as the production was concerned, I thought it was great.
Okay.
All right.
So I was trying to like just kind of maybe catch lightning in the bottle with that. I told these guys I was going to do it live. So both of them were working. They weren't working from home. I have the lucky to be able to work from home. So I was like, I'm going to take a lunch break. I'll hop on, StreamYard. I'll go live on our YouTube channel and put, share my screen and put the whole thing on there. Well, it didn't go over quite as planned because the video was super choppy. And at first, I kind of thought it was something on my end. Maybe my internet wasn't good enough to share the screen, whatever. But everybody in the side chat was saying that it was kind of the same way over on Harley Davidson's channel. But anyway, so like watching it live, I was trying to do a bunch of different things, keep up with the side chat and watch it. And my initial impressions were like I wasn't happy with it. But I kind of feel like there was a lot of negativity in the side chat, and I was kind of maybe like subliminally feeding into that and not thinking it was very well done. Having gone back afterwards and watched it and also watched other people's videos, other motorcycle YouTubers videos on it, I kind of have a different kind of more along your lines thinking, it really wasn't that bad. And there was a couple little things, but overall it was well done.
Well, what would have pissed us all off is if they would have spent all this money using the actors that they use and using The Rock and using
Jason Momoa.
Yeah, absolutely. And then all this, they pay them millions of dollars to make this performance that you got paid actors now that I always think is a waste of time and a waste of money. I never bought my Harley because of an actor being on a Harley. I'm going to tell you that I haven't met a single Harley owner yet that, other than Arnold Schwarzenegger and Terminator 2, where they're like, you know what, that was pretty cool. But nobody did it because Arnold Schwarzenegger was on it in Terminator 2. They did it because the bike was freaking cool at the time. Yeah. So that's honestly what I was expecting from the release, especially with Harley trying to develop these relationships with the actors. I honestly expected them to just have this paid production where we're watching these people that are out of reach, that are not, maybe they're enthusiasts, but they're not just the everyday rider. Like they might like and enjoy Harley Davidson, but they're busy. They're professional actors. That's what would have made me mad. And I think that's what kind of threw a curveball at me at the very last second, that I was like, I'm enjoying this for this reason. Like, they are actually using human beings, which is what I've been pushing for in that organization, in many organizations for a long time, is use real people. We're sick and tired of looking at these professional actors that, of course, they're going to smile when they're on your Harley. They just made $6 million in like a half a day. So that the fact they use real people, and I looked at some of the cuts and even some of the focus polls and the way that they did it from a creative standpoint, it was really well done. And this is coming just from the creative standpoint. Now I get it. People are upset about that release. We're in a COVID year. This is the other thing I had to put into play. We're in a COVID year. They were refused the opportunity to even do a live event. It had to be virtual, right? Yeah. They did the best with what they had. Now, I also, because of doing research, and I'm sure you guys know it too, because we're kind of in the game trying to inform other people, that there wasn't going to be any big changes. Oh, my man. That's 2 hours, 5 minutes into it. He's cracking into another one. I like it.
Wait. Time out. Did you guys lose track?
No, but I had to take 2 breaks, but I'm only 5.5, remember? So it's fine. Oh, boy. But, I mean,
I didn't lose track. I thought it was 4.
Oh, so you got last week's in there too, or
listen,
what's going on?
Listen, this 4-pack that I picked up today, in my defense, is only 6%, so that's way below my norm. So,
right.
Understood.
Moving on to Purple Monkey dishwasher, and my wife is watching this right now. Now she's mad because she just saw how much beer I drank, and I'm not going upstairs.
No. We already clarified. It's last week's.
I'm sleeping down here.
It's interesting to think that one of the things that I took away from what they did is, philosophically as a company, almost like a relaunch into a year where they weren't doing a lot of stuff. They tried to break it down into, hey, we're still a small business. Like, we're still a family business. And here are the people that have helped design these bikes. And here are the people who've worked on these bikes. And, here's still part of the Davidson family that's still involved. And
I really, in that point, I get a little bit frustrated. Don't get me wrong. I have no idea where their business plan is going to actually go for them, right? But I will tell you this right now, it appears they're making good moves, but the CEO was selected because, or accepted because of that adventure bike. Right. That is pretty much the reason why that he's there. He's had a passion for that adventure bike. Harley Davidson is a big enough company that their R&D is so huge that they literally have looked at this thing up and down. Is it going to be perfect? No first gen ever is. They're always going to make improvements. But I knew that was going to be their biggest home run, which wasn't going to be available during the time of their release.
Right.
So I am disappointed that they didn't do the 131 in the CVOs. I thought they should have. I thought they could have. They stuck with the 117s. I think that for the old time enthusiasts of going to the 131 and them, being there, I think that keeps them in that Harley market and kind of enthralls the younger generation coming up saying, hey, the 131 on a bagger, I'm in, because that's pretty much everything that I need to do. If you're a young kid that can afford a bagger. But I will tell you that when it comes down to those types of decisions, I wasn't expecting a whole lot. The cable clutch system, that was surprising to me. That was probably the biggest surprise to me. There we go again. Standby.
That's all right. Keep talking.
So that was probably the biggest surprise to me, was the cable, going back to a cable clutch system. And I think that was just going with saving costs. If you look at the cable clutch versus the hydraulic clutch and what that saves them, they can keep their market the same with a cable clutch system. And people don't realize that every unit that they move, they probably are making around $800 more per unit. And if you extend that out through a year, that's quite a bit. And don't be mad at them. This is a business, right? They're there to make money. And I think that overall, I understand why people are upset. And I almost feel bad because even the color schemes, I was okay with some of the color schemes. I actually found some of them pretty cool. They were unloading some of the bikes after the release at the dealership. and they were still kind of in their crates and just doing the beginning part, and I wasn't going to wait all day for that. So, but being able to see some of those color schemes, I was pleasantly surprised.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm trying to look up the name of that one gray that I saw that I really, really liked. If somebody in the side chat knows it, I can't remember what it was. And I was just
Tombstone Gray? No. Deadwood Gray? No.
No. Damn.
Wow. Salty and Sprinkles says they wish they would have called it the Dirt Glide.
The Dirt Glide? Why?
I don't know. I think that's an Indian thing.
The Pan America?
I missed.
Yeah, I don't know. So the
Gunmetal Gray. OMG Moto. Gunmetal Gray.
Oh yeah,
No.
No,
Was
I
it
don't think
gunmetal?
Something with gunmetal though.
Let me see.
So I think that I think people were expecting a little too much after, the COVID year. I have no idea why, but there was people that were expecting a big kind of thing, and they're forgetting what they have actually put into this adventure bike and what it takes. They're entering into it. This is a gamble for them. Me personally, I don't think it's going to work out. That's just me. I think that it's like somebody coming in and trying to compete, like honestly compete with Polaris razors, right? The side by side. Polaris has that market. They're 10 years in advance on a side by side unit. And you have others that are coming, but they're so far behind. I almost think that Harley is going to be behind on this adventure bike thing. And I don't know. But I wasn't expecting that much. So therefore I wasn't disappointed in the release. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. What does everybody think?
I found the color real quick. It's Gauntlet Gray Metallic.
Gauntlet Gray Metallic. That's exactly.
And I was at Barb's Harley Davidson yesterday, and I saw it in person, and it is every bit as nice in person as I thought it was on video. So it's definitely a color I would buy if I was looking right now.
Yeah, 100%. Like there was some really unique color schemes. I chose the all black, version and blacked out Road Glide special, and I really liked that. And as time has gone on, I'm like, you know what? I could see myself rocking a different color in the future. One, because scratches show up all over the place on black.
Yeah,
black is
at least it wasn't a black Street Glide.
Wow. Yeah, that's true. I went with and ironically, everybody that I kind of met after I bought that bike in the people that live within, I don't know, a couple square miles from my area, all of them have Road Glides. So if I would have got that Street Glide, I would have been that guy. I would have been the odd guy out.
Nobody wants to be that guy.
So, I mean, listen, people love to hate Harley, and they love to hate Harley. And Harley needs, I mean, it's a down year. It's a down year for sales. People buckled down. They didn't buy luxury items like motorcycles, like $30,000 motorcycles, by the way, now. And, they need to do what they need to do to stay in business. Because you know what? At the end of the day, we want them to be in business.
100%. People don't realize that. That's a great point.
We want them to be there. And, Indian's back. Indian's going to be around. They're part of, the Polaris juggernaut. And, people will rag on Harley's numbers and, Harley was down. Well, what were Indian sales? Well, you don't know because Polaris doesn't release them.
So, and here's the other thing that you have to realize too. We want, as Harley, and don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of the Indian too. Don't get me wrong at all. I am a big fan of the Indian bike. But as a Harley Davidson enthusiast, we want Indians to do well.
Yep.
The reason is that is going to put the pressure on Harley Davidson to come up with a response, because Indian, if you think about it, a couple years back, Indian was almost Toys R Us, right? They were going out of business.
Yeah.
They were really losing the fight, and they're making a comeback. So we want them to put pressure on Harley, and just like capitalism, right? We want to make sure that they're pushing each other to bring their best product, their best deals, their best things that they can to the market for us, the consumer. I just wish they would focus more on the riders themselves. Even look at like that Adam Sandoval's huge channel, not the biggest channel, but he's a big influence on the motorcycle market, right?
Mhm.
And I'm not mad at the decisions on what Harley did and why, Indian's there, and but they really need to get into that style of market. And obviously, you can't go with Matt Laidlaw because they're gonna be like, well, you own a Harley dealership, but you need to get somebody in that type of a level that has, 100, 200, 300,000 subscribers in some type of the cruiser market and really push that product. And that goes for both Indian and Harley Davidson to get real world experiences. Because when I look at it, it comes down to real world experiences. As I said before, a movie actor doesn't sell me on a product. And I want both of them to do well, because if they both do well, we win as the consumer.
Right. I mean, Indian doing well is going to get a better suspension on a road glide. It's going to get road brakes, on Harley Davidsons. It's going to get. It will. I mean, it's if they lose market share, they'll do that. I mean, that's. The
Indian already has better suspension out of the gate than the Harley Davidson.
Yeah.
Like out of the gate, it is a night and day difference. And I think Harley knows that, and they recognize that. I look at it as they relied so much on that Harley name brand to carry them out. They might have extended that stay a little too long, and they need to fire back with something.
Yeah.
But you also have to realize the genre, right? This has been going on for a long time. The younger kids are not attracted to Harleys. And why is that? Because the Harley Davidson is not something that you see in your movies on Netflix, which people are watching new movies on Netflix now in this day and age versus going to theater because COVID and theaters are closed. But you're not seeing the action sports star like the Terminator on a Harley Davidson. They're not showing any of that stuff. They really need to invest, not getting a still shot of an actor on a Harley Davidson. I could care less, but really introduce that as a whole. You look at, like 24, the TV show 24. I thought that was probably one of the greatest shows of all time, by the way. 24 was fantastic, but they always had some type of Ford, Chevy branding deal every single year, where all of the vehicles that you saw was that brand. Harley needs to make that jump into some type of you think of all these shows that are coming out in mass production on Netflix. Right. They're just a mass dump. Or the Disney Plus channel. You look at what's the new thing that everybody's watching with Baby Yoda,
Mandalorian.
Right?
Mandalorian.
Yeah, Mandalorian. Those types of shows, if I'm the CEO of the world of Harley Davidson for a day, I'm going to realize that all those types of shows that are releasing 12, 24, 36 episodes in one sitting where somebody can binge watch that. Yeah. You mean to tell me that I'm not going to, not the Mandalorian, obviously they didn't have Harley back then, but like it's a real thing.
It's actually not back then, right? Wouldn't it be like?
I guess it would be in the future. Yeah. So, no, but I mean, there's going to be other shows like that where they drop mass episodes that people are going to binge watch. Jump on that train. What's coming out in 2022? Yeah. I think Harley Davidson needs to jump on that and really get their product in front of these kids, these younger generation kids. Obviously, having a younger generation afford a bagger is not going to happen, right? Because I couldn't do it. That's why I bought my ZX6R, because I couldn't afford a Harley back then. Forget about it. But maybe you could get something in that Sportster, just a model that they would find attractive to them and run with it.
And they're under 10 grand, the Sportster still. So, I mean, it's,
Yeah, you're right there. You're right there.
It's in that, it's in that area. It's not a bad gig at all.
So you think of Sons of Anarchy, right? The TV show Sons of Anarchy, that did huge things for Harley Davidson. Yep. Yeah. Whether people love the show, once again, loved that show. Thought it was probably one of the greatest of all time. It's up there with 24. But I will tell you, fantastic show, fantastic acting. All of us are a little bit older, so we remember the Ted Bundy and that whole genre, and then having her come into that role, and you're like, whoa, I don't even see her as a Bundy, right?
Did you say
or you look at
did you say
you look at
Ted Bundy?
I didn't mean Ted.
Al?
Al.
Was like, this just took a weird turn.
Yeah, yeah. It was Rorik, right? Was it Rorik? Pretty sure it was
Jimmy Rorik.
Jimmy Rorik.
So-
That's from Volcano, by the way. I figured it out.
Yeah. That's my answer right there. So I will tell you, I mean, you looked at that show, and what that did for Harley Davidson at that time was huge for those years. I don't even know what those numbers were. I haven't gone back and looked at what that did, but it had to do something, because Sons of Anarchy was talked about everywhere.
Yeah.
Right? They need to get involved in something else that will help just influence that younger generation, in my opinion, for them to be successful.
Yeah.
But I do love the Indian at the same time. So
Yeah.
whichever one does it first, that's fine. As long as both of them are competing, we win as the consumer.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
100%. And
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
they're both employing Americans. I mean, they
Yes.
are. Salty said it's. Those are American jobs, and we want them to do well. I think Indian probably does make a great product. I think their biggest downfall right now, at least in our area, is a dealer network.
Yep.
I mean, I couldn't even consider an Indian, because Indian shops were closing up left and right in New Jersey. We had a bunch of them, and they are all but one gone in one of the most populated states in the union. So, I mean, it's.
So
You
it
live
makes
out here,
me
it's
wonder, though,
tough.
if they resolve that one issue, right? If they resolve that one issue as far as dealership problems, would that maybe not for you personally, but would that change the game for many?
Yeah, I think it absolutely would, and I would go give them a fair shake. I would give it. I would go at least ride it. Look at
Yeah, I
Bert's like,
probably would
nope.
I
But
just, it's just a look for me. They're nice bikes, but it's not my look. It's not my. I don't like it. It's not my style.
Yeah, and that is, there's nothing wrong with that either. There's going to be, those things. I love my 2020 Road Glide Special, but like I said a couple years ago, I couldn't stand the look of the Road Glide, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't change that for anything, because it's now become part of me. So my goal, and hopefully you guys can all hold me accountable, I never want to get rid of my 2020 Road Glide Special. I want to have it forever. Doesn't matter how many bikes I go through after this. I want this bike to stay with me forever. And
That's my goal for my 2016 as well.
yeah, it's just it's got a special place in my heart, and it's for reasons that will be known at a later time when I finally get up the courage to make those videos. But that one will stay with me forever. So the Chieftain Dark Horse, I just saw that pop up. I think that's a good looking bike. I did a review
nice
with Clint and from Motorcycle Monkey, and I thought it was a freaking great looking bike. It's hard to see what's going to happen later on down the road, because I think that Indian will make smaller tweaks to their bikes to where they know that they can fit that fine line where if you're a Harley guy, you're like, you know what? I could do that. I could ride that bike because it's not that far off from what I'm doing right now, but it's Indian. Indian had problems for a long time, and they climbed back out. Good for them. And it's just better for us as a consumer. And I like them both.
Yep. Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, so I just wanted to point out, as a competitive person that I am, hold on, give it a 4, 3. We just broke our own record for the longest live stream, and Scouse no longer holds the record for our longest live stream.
You guys think I'm not competitive? You don't think that this was the reason? I've been looking up at the timer for a long time, trying to think of crap to say. Finally,
No, it's really flowed. And since we've already gone this long, I just wanted to get to a couple more questions that were like easy questions, stupid questions. They'll be quick. It's just that every time we've had a live stream, I've come back at the end and told George or Austin that I had some other questions that I didn't get to because of just the way it flowed. So some stupid questions, some quick questions. They can be short answers. Right now, what would you say is the number one bucket list ride that you have on your list that you haven't done yet? And I feel like you might have touched on this earlier, but let's see what you say. Go ahead.
Yeah, it would be the coast to coast. So I want to touch my back tire to the Pacific and then touch my front tire in the Atlantic.
Yeah. Okay. What of all the rallies that you've been to so far, which has been your favorite?
Sturgis, hands down. Doesn't even compare to anything.
Yeah. And have you been to a lot of rallies?
No. So
No.
I guess that, but
one and one. That's his one.
no, we went to Arizona Bike Week during our COVID year, which is also not.
Yeah.
Good stuff,
but,
man.
and I do want to do some more. I mean, being out here on the West Coast, we have the Laughlin River Run, and everybody knows that because of the whole Mongols, Hell's Angels thing from back in the day. But that's not really how it is right now. I mean, I've got a lot of friends that still do that. So I'm going to do a lot more traveling and these rallies, and just, I'd say in about 5 years, ask me that same question, and I think that it's still going to be Sturgis. It was a different feel.
Good stuff. Yep, good stuff.
So I don't know if you guys want to hit this too. You guys can answer it too. So for me, bucket list ride right now would be doing Route 66 on the bikes. And I would say Sturgis has been the best so far just because of the overall experience. I do love Ocean City Bike Week, but that's close to us. I mean, it's an hour ride and an hour ferry and then another hour ride. So like 3 hours altogether and you're there. For us, Sturgis it was a trip of a lifetime. I hope as a group with these guys, I can do it again. But if I don't, I'll always remember that as just the best rally, best ride, best trip, vacation altogether. What about you guys for those two questions?
Well, for me, it'd be the California coast. I want to go down, what is it, Route 1, Pacific Coast Highway or something like that?
Yes.
I always wanted to do that. I actually was at McCord Air Force Base up in Washington State. And I drove down, and unfortunately, I should have taken that road when I moved back then, and I didn't. So that's definitely for me on my bucket list. And 66 as well. That's a good one for sure.
It's a to pick one, right?
Yeah, so it's 66, the Pacific Coast Highway.
You still picked two. How did you do that?
Because that's what he does.
I do that.
Okay? He does that.
Well, if you ever want to do PCH and you get out here, you let me know. I'll go with you.
All right.
Hell yeah.
The decisions are firm with that one.
Yeah.
66. I mean, I've been talking about doing 66 now for even before we did Sturgis, and I was so excited. We were coming back from the Bring It Home rally, and we were somewhere in Missouri, and we stopped for gas, and I turned around, and here we are. We were right on Route 66, and I'm like, holy cow, we're on Route 66. But I would definitely like to do, 66 all the way across. I mean,
so did you guys do this last Bring It Home rally, like this last one where they broke the record?
We did the record ride. Yes, we broke the record.
Yeah.
Okay.
2019 was it? 2019. Fall of 2019, October.
Okay. Yep. So you guys were on that ride.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Nice.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. And then this past October, so now Adam's going to do he wants to do a yearly thing where they do kind of a rally at his campground to kind of commemorate the whole thing and just.
And did you guys do the whole K River thing and hang out with them over there and all that stuff? How was that?
We went to K River when we went down to break the world record. It's a really nice campground. We did not get to meet Adam at that point because we actually were pretty close to him, but he was looked like he was busy, so we didn't really mess with him. But the campground's awesome. I mean, you guys, I don't know, I thought it was cool.
I'm ready to go back. I'm ready to go back.
Yeah, campground was awesome. I mean, for us, it was a great trip. It was our first long trip as a group. And, it was just like I said, we all felt like, this was the time he was going to do it and break it. And it was, we had just started the channel. We'd met so many people with channels. And we were talking about it the other day. A lot of the people we met don't even have channels anymore, but some of them most definitely do. And it was just great to meet other YouTubers, do this ride, and hanging out at the K River, with all of them, it was cool. It's a cool.
Yeah.
That's on my list, man. I'm hoping to do it this year for sure.
So the reality is we have a channel because of the world record ride, because I brought up doing that ride to George and Austin, and that's kind of when George came up with the idea to make the channel, because he said, he wanted to document that and he wanted to get some practice before that. So that's kind of, we started the channel so that we could get it going before we actually went on that Bring It Home world record ride run. So
that's awesome.
Now are you trying to go for his anniversary thing in the first week in October, or are you going before that?
No, we'll do it on an off time. Probably not a slam. I'll do it more than once, but we're going to probably do it on an off time. I don't know. Time will tell on those decisions, but I think that my initial trip is going to be doing it during a non-busy event, and just kind of take it all in, because sometimes, and I'm preaching to the choir here, as you guys know, you go to these events and there's something going on. If it's a big event and you're worried about filming, it takes away from your experience of being at that event.
Yeah,
right?
in the moment.
So I would say Sturgis is the first time in my career, in my filming career, where I actually had fun filming and I didn't feel like I missed out on anything, because we were at 4 terabytes. What could I have missed out on? But I pretty much was filming the entire time, but I still felt like I was okay. But if it was a different type of an event, throughout my filming career, every single time everybody talks to me about how much of an awesome time they had, and I'm like, I'll watch it on video, let you know if I thought it was great or not, because you just don't know. So we'll do the first one probably in an off section, but I don't know, that could change at any time based on those decisions. But would you guys ever do Sturgis and fly in?
I don't know if I would fly in. I would trailer out. I
don't know if I could fly in.
Yeah.
Not fly in and rent. Let's say you flew in and you rent a bike for.
Yeah.
I see the wheels spinning.
I don't like the idea of riding a rental at all, let alone in the Black Hills and all that. Just not that I couldn't do it. I'm not worried about crashing or anything like that. Just the comfort aspect of the familiarity with my bike, and I don't know.
I get you.
I wouldn't rule anything out, but off the top of my head, I'd say I doubt I would ever do that. I'll just ride it.
Yeah, it's those things that I think about as channels begin to grow, right? And as you get bigger, and you can't afford to take that much time away, because it's a commitment. Whether you have the time off to take from work, or even if you were doing this full time, and let's say this was paying all of your bills, could you really invest every year 2 weeks to one event versus, well, you fly out there, you rent a bike, and you have it for a few days, but you're filming the event. I think that I would do it. I honestly do.
What?
If I was a full-time YouTuber, oh yeah, hands down.
Well, no,
if you're a full-time YouTuber, though, you're going probably.
Right.
It's even easier if you're a full-time YouTuber. But to your point, Ryan, I guess if it was the only way to get out there and film some of the event and some of the rally Sturgis for the channel, because I only had 3 days, maybe you do fly out and just rent so that you can film and get some stuff for the channel.
Yeah, on short notice, probably would. On short notice.
To the point where I think I start thinking about where I would travel to, even without renting a bike, but just going to different events. Like you were just talking about your different events, and it had me on the East Coast, had me thinking, nobody really cares if I'm on a bike or not. At that particular moment, I ain't vlogging while I'm out there. I can easily jump on a plane.
I got to be honest with you. If you wanted to come to Ocean City, Maryland for the rally, I don't think anybody would notice if you didn't have the bike. Yeah. To be honest with you,
I think that
the kind of rally it is where there's not a ton of, let's say, great riding. It's not even going to be it doesn't even compare remotely to the Black Hills or or anywhere out west, it's basically the East Coast shoreline. And I mean, if you go inland, you're in flat Maryland, like nothing special. So yeah, I mean, I could see flying in and hitting the rally and videoing the party and the vendors and everything that's going on, and not even worry about riding.
Yeah, I think about that for Bike Week too. I don't know how many I guess there's maybe one ride that people like to do in Bike Week. I've never been there, but that's what I hear. Is it worth it to go all the way out there with my motorcycle for Bike Week, or do I just fly in and film Bike Week for a couple days and go home?
Sorry.
Yeah.
He's got that. He's got that beta test going again.
That might be the comment of the night right there. That might have been the comment of the night. I took my 747. Well, I tell you what, if I had my own 747 and they were still flying, then they better make me a patch.
Yep.
Yeah, no shit. Couple more stupid little questions, just because I'm curious. So when it comes to music, what's your favorite genre of music?
I like everything, and I'm going to explain to you why. Like I legitimately have in my same, and my wife can contest to this. I legitimately have everything from hip hop to classical, everything in between on my music list when I'm on the bike. I literally love everything. And ironically, if somebody were to ask me who the best, we'll come back in a second. This is just a commercial break.
I thought you were winking at me that whole time. That
Yeah,
was weird.
that's the whole time.
I would tell you that if one of the things that I know that if somebody had to ask me who is the best musical artist of all time, this one might shock you a little bit, and that would be Eminem is the best musical artist of all time. Mm-hmm. And the reason why is that the human voice only has 7 tones, and he is the only human being to ever use all 7 tones in one song. And so if you think about it, we all have our happy birthday voice and our talking voice. Everybody knows how to sing happy birthday, and everybody knows how to have a talking voice. Those are your 2 natural tones that you have. There are actually 5 more, and he's used all of them in a single song, and I find him to be a remarkable artist. But I do enjoy country, rock. I love everything.
My wife would argue with you that Shakira also does that.
So she does not have all 7 in a song. She does have 5.
It sounds like it. She's all over the place. Okay, so you don't want to answer it that way. So then you can only listen to one genre for the rest of your life. Which one is it?
I can only listen to one genre the rest of my life. It's going to be country, baby, all day.
Okay. And do you have a favorite song?
Do I have a favorite song? That's a tough one.
That is a tough one.
There's so many different songs for so many different reasons. And people used to always ask like the question, would you rather be blind or deaf? And I always said blind because I would always want to be able to, my imagination could always tell me what's going on around me, but I would always want to be able to hear music and feel music. And to me, like James Taylor has always been somebody in my life since I was a kid. Loved James Taylor. And there's so many just different powerful songs. I can't answer that question. My favorite song of all time, I don't have one.
I don't either. I just figured I'd ask. So for you two, I mean, I hang out with you guys all the time. I don't even know what's your favorite genre.
Well, I mean, country is, I think, by far my favorite genre. I mean, that's without saying.
You have a favorite song or a favorite artist?
I would say, and this might come as a shock, but like Jim Croce, I Got a Name. I mean, that's.
Did you say Jimmy O'Rourke?
Said Jim Croce.
Who's that?
Yes, you don't know who he is, but it's.
Should I know who that is?
If you like country, he would be somebody you'd be into.
Well, I like country, and I don't know who that is.
So I will enlighten you next time we're in the car.
I bet you will. He's probably from the 30s or something like that, isn't he?
He was, I mean, he was a folk artist with, Bonnie Raitt and a bunch of Bob Dylan and a bunch of those guys.
Okay.
And he got himself locked into a record deal that he didn't really want to be a part of. And he wrote a whole album basically kind of making a joke of that. Like, you want me to write songs? Well, here's your songs, and New York Is Not My Home is one. I've Got a Name is another. And yeah, that's definitely top of my list.
All right. Austin?
For me, it's like heavy metal, Slayer. That's my genre.
That's your jam.
That's my jam.
Really?
Yep.
You and Jimmy Rorick can be listening to Slayer on the way to Sturgis.
Absolutely. Rocking it.
So
Slayer.
it's not La Bamba.
Nope, but it's not. It is not. Even though I do listen to a lot of different stuff like Pitbull, that's probably one of my other.
You do listen to some Pitbull.
I listen.
I also like me some Pitbull. I ain't gonna lie.
He's a Latino.
Doesn't.
He's a Latino like I am, and he made it big, and it's he puts out good music. But Slayer's probably my biggest.
Look at Justin. He's like, Croce, back to your Grateful Dead days.
Yeah.
Almost, buddy. Almost.
Well, while they had great instrumentation back then, as far as the sounds and the crisp and the different gains they had back then, for me, Slayer just has the different, faster tones that I like with the melodic sounds to it. So
Melodic. Okay.
Melody.
So, Ryan, do you watch a lot of movies? Are you a movie guy?
Yes, I am a movie buff.
What's your favorite movie? Come on, you gotta have a favorite movie. Braveheart. Okay.
Braveheart is my favorite movie.
Wow.
George, do you have a favorite movie?
It's Stripes, man. I love Stripes.
Oh, I do like some Stripes.
That's a fact. Check.
Army training, sir.
And this is why Stripes is my favorite.
Yeah, great one-liner right there, baby.
That's a classic. That's an awesome movie. I like that one. You got one?
Me? Independence Day.
Oh wow. Okay.
What?
That's fine.
Independence Day.
The old one or the new one?
Oh, it better be the old one.
The old one. And it has some personal feel to it because I was just joining the military and I went to actually watch it in the theater.
You fought the aliens?
And then it was like in the beginning they played the what the hell was it? But it was one of those things where it was a time in my life where I just remember and I identified with it.
Because you were ready to go fight the aliens for your
country. I was
ready
to go fight the aliens. I was ready.
Don't any of us lie. It doesn't matter what channel it's on. If Independence Day is on TV, we're going to stay on that channel. Even now. It's like John Wick. It's going to happen.
John Wick or The Martian.
Unless Couples Retreat is on another channel, and then I'm switching to Couples Retreat.
Also just stay there.
Because that's my jam right there. Couples Retreat is hilarious. This is probably the last one that I wrote down. Do you watch reality TV?
Well, before you answer that, Bert, what's yours?
What's my what?
Yeah.
What was your favorite movie?
Man, I think I just said it. I think Couples Retreat. It's the one show that it's on. I'm watching it, and you can ask Carolyn. She probably gets sick of it. I crack up at that movie every time, like it's the first time I watched it with the jokes on that movie.
All right.
I know you hate Vince Vaughn.
I don't like. He is good in that movie, even though
him, I think Justin Baby, I think is hilarious.
Wedding Crashers, you got to be out of your
mind. He's amazing.
That's the same skit in every movie. Sorry, don't like him.
But that's pretty much every comedian.
Yeah,
they pretty much do the same shtick in every movie. I mean, Adam Sandler is pretty much the same dude in almost every movie.
Just I don't like him.
You go back to Richard Pryor was like the same. I mean, they're all the same. It's comedies. That's how they are. That's their shtick. But
that is a great movie, though. That is a great movie. I do agree with that.
Yeah, Couples Retreat, man. I crack up every time.
My favorite movie of all time is Couples Retreat.
Probably not, but I'm going based off of what I
don't even think that was nominated for like a bad award.
No,
it was just
not
nominated for nothing. Like it's
probably
and
not.
That's the
I think it's hilarious. It's probably not my.
I'm upset.
I say it because
move on.
I say that because I watch it every time it's on, but no, it's probably not. I mean, so many movies. I don't know. Like I go
You
back.
can say
Like
The Notebook. You're amongst friends. It's fine.
I'll be honest with you. Probably Dirty Dozen is probably my favorite movie of all time.
Oh, that's a good one.
I'm a-
All right, that
I
one I'll let you.
I wore that VHS tape out as a kid. Like I love that movie, and George has never even seen it.
I've seen it. Tell you, I did leave a song. I did leave a song on the table though. It's kind of funny. We'll see if my wife.
Oh, okay.
Alice's Restaurant.
What?
Huh?
Dude, does nobody know Alice's Restaurant? Oh my god.
Maybe it was the way. Maybe it was the delivery.
Oh man, I'm making you guys listen to it. I'm telling you.
So it's
I'm
funny
just thinking
'cause
like
Salty and Sprinkles in the comments said Top Gun, and I'll tell you that is probably one VHS that I literally wore legitimately. Like watched it so many times, I ruined the VHS tape.
Top Gun.
Top Gun.
Yeah, that's a great one.
That was,
I mean, it's like to say what your favorite movie is. That's like that's a loaded question because there's
so many.
There's so many. Like Top Gun, I'm the same
Braveheart.
way. I've watched that. Braveheart's a great movie. It's a little
Die
long.
Hard. I mean,
I don't
come
like
on.
the ending. They bunch of sellouts.
what are you talking about? The ending? It's a true story. What is he supposed to be
Yeah,
like,
well, you know,
rides into
it's
the
TV.
sunset?
Switch. Wait, who? No, I mean, I don't know. That dude sold him out, and then like, oh, now I'm gonna go out and fight on his behalf. Like, dude, you could have did it while he was still alive, you scumbag.
Agreed, but it's a true story. They can't change that part.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's Hollywood. It's Hollywood. We can change anything.
We can change anything. There it is. I did it.
If they changed an
You know-
election, we could change a movie.
Next thing you're going to tell me that you're upset that the Titanic sank. I don't get it.
Well, no. I wish that would have sank earlier, and I wish that he would have drowned earlier, and that would have ended a lot sooner.
All right, let's
but-
get to the final question. Which one was it?
The final question was: do you watch reality TV, and if so, which is your favorite reality TV show?
Oh boy. If I lie about this, my wife's probably still watching right now and she's going to call me out. So I'm hoping
That's
that
what I'm
she's
hoping
not
for.
replying. Yes, I do watch reality TV shows. My wife and I do together. I will tell you, Deadliest Catch is a phenomenal reality TV show. I've been watching that for many, many, many years. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones.
That's
We
like
used to have
some
one
manly stuff, though.
I know, but well, don't worry.
Get to some really gay stuff that we can make fun of you about.
Hey, brother, I'm easing you into it. I'm glad that we're starting with the manly stuff.
Saving Housewives of Orange County for last.
Yeah, no, I don't watch any of the Desperate Housewives or Real Housewives or Wannabe Real Housewives or whatever they
That's
call
okay.
it.
That's all right.
But I am guilty of watching The Bachelor and Bachelorette with my wife. I will tell you that much right now.
Oh, that's
Guilty
bad.
of that. I have since stopped. I've found help, and I have allowed her to continue on that journey by herself. One of the shows that we enjoy is Below Deck. I don't know if you guys have seen that. It's about like
That's
a yacht
actually pretty
crew.
good.
I enjoy that show. But I would tell you that Deadliest Catch, I can't wait for that show every single year for it to come out in April, and we've always watched that. So
Put it up, Bert.
but it's totally fine. I've been known to watch some Bachelor and Bachelorette.
So no Survivor, Amazing Race.
So years ago, I watched Amazing Race. Yep. Stopped doing that. And then,
why? You didn't like it?
There's the wife right there.
She just took all of it. She took.
She says we just call them my shows. Yeah, I usually just say, you know what, call it smutty TV. I was like, hey, if you want to watch smutty TV, I'm going to go away. And usually I'm referring to her housewives stuff and things like that. So, I will tell you that, there's probably some other ones that I've dabbled into, but I did do like the Amazing Race for a little bit. It got a little political, which I didn't like at all, and
Wait, how so? What do you mean?
Uh-oh.
I like political, so tell me what do you mean by that?
Uh-oh.
You like political? No, I mean it was one of those things where next thing you know that the selection of contestants and who kind of moved along when that's not really how it happened, and people that were getting passes that shouldn't really get passes, and it just happened. I could predict the show pretty much how that came down.
I agree with you. I do 100%.
And so therefore it got really political to me, where it's like, of course they're not going to kick this couple off because of X, Y, and Z, right? And I will tell you, I mean, that happens in a lot of different reality shows. Back in circa 2007, am I saying that right? 2006. So I had experience with American Idol, and I had a chance to understand how reality shows really operate. And that in itself, I never made it on TV, so don't Google it. And if you do, just Google Ryan Anderson. Let me know what happens. Yeah, it's you're going to come up with a lot of people that are not me. But I will tell you that I had a chance to experience some reality show stuff, and to see how fake the back end was. It really ruined reality shows for me.
I believe
so
it.
I got a chance to see it firsthand, and I was like, wait a minute. So we call it reality, but it's not really reality. It's kind of like, hey, let's do this over and over again till we make it right. So with that, I mean, there is reality shows that I watch, but I think Deadliest Catch, it still makes me feel like I'm going to hammer up some drywall later and drink a beer. So, and wait a minute, don't you guys not get to answer this one either? Go ahead, around
exactly. Around the horn, Austin.
I don't watch reality shows.
Deadliest Catch is definitely, I mean,
Deadliest Catch, but it's
going into its 17th year. I mean, that show has been, from a filming standpoint, just revolutionary what they've done with it, and it's just at the end of the day, it's big waves and boats and crabs for 7
They're catching fish and crabs. Come on, how exciting is that?
It actually is really exciting because people die and stuff, and then if you want something exciting, you put somebody's life in peril, right?
Have you seen anybody die on that show?
Yeah.
Yes.
You've seen somebody die on the show?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was season 3.
Mm-hmm.
As you were, and which one was yours?
Austin? Yep. No, me? Oh, I was gonna I'm all in on the challenge, MTV, bro. I hate the channel with a passion. You've never heard of the challenge? You ever watched Real World Road Rules Challenge? Like, what?
So I know Real World and
don't try to act like you never heard of it, Austin.
I've heard of it. I've
never heard of the challenge. I have no idea what that is.
I've never heard of yours.
God. It's longer running than Survivor.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
I've never seen a single episode of Survivor either.
So you never seen Real World on MTV?
I saw Real World.
Like the first season.
The first couple of seasons.
Right, well, Austin, you stop. You're fibbing. Stop it. You've watched the one last year. What about Road Rules on MTV?
I don't think I've ever seen one of those episodes.
Okay, so Road Rules was kind of like a Real World, but they did it like they were in an RV and they were traveling around and they were doing competitions, whatever. And then they eventually did the Real World Road Rules Challenge, where like contestants from one and the contestants from the other squared off, whatever. So it's been going for 20 years.
That's your
and is pretty much the exact same concept. Pretty much
yeah. Anyway,
is that what it is? I mean, is it under the same preface where they vote people out, or people go home every single week and they get voted off?
Yes. But it's all in this. It's all with the challenge. It's all competitive stuff. Like they do, one-on-one challenge, or they do team challenges, and then to see who goes out, they do one-on-one like physical challenges and stuff. So it's guys, it's girls. It's again, I'm a freaking gay reality TV junkie. I watch all kinds of crap. Not like The Bachelor. Like that's
wow.
That's me.
Okay.
That's a whole nother level of like.
Just a little bit. Just tell me you've all have seen the show Yellowstone, please.
Oh yeah. I love Yellowstone.
Okay, so yeah, I'm like, so we got done with that a few weeks ago. Actually, it's been like over a month ago. We got all caught up. I was literally like heartbroken that there was no more episodes to watch, and I don't know what I'm going to do till they come out with the next season. But then we watched Ozark, and we just got done with that like 2 nights ago. So again, I'm in anxiety. So the only thing I can think of tonight, after we get done with the show, I'm thinking we're going to go to Cobra Kai.
You haven't watched it?
No. We haven't done it.
Oh,
do it.
It's the greatest cheesy show you'll ever watch, man. It's
Yes.
awesome.
100%.
Love it. George is totally like logged off because he doesn't watch TV. He just watches Peter McKinnon.
Or Maddie, one or the other.
Cobra Kai is awesome. You definitely have to watch that.
Great. It's cheesy.
And
as
obviously, if you watched at least the first 2 original Karate Kids, you'll love it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Great.
And sometimes I throw in some Daniel Schiffer, just to mix it up. But
Oh, okay. Okay. Only because Pete told you to.
yeah, basically.
So that you obviously saw that episode of Peter McKinnon and the guy that made fun of Peter McKinnon from San Diego, right?
I made Bert watch it the other day.
Yeah, no, that was good.
Yeah, that rap video. So that guy, honestly, like, I was going to hit him up because, he's into like the adventure stuff and motorcycles and different things. I was like, you know what? I need to hit this guy up.
You should.
And then right when that, all of a sudden that releases and he blows up to like 100,000 subscribers, like, oh, you ain't got time for me anymore. But I'm not ready to hit him up and say, hey, pay it forward, brother. I live right down the street from you.
I know, right? Wow.
So yeah, that was a really good video though. I thought
That was good. That was really good. I wouldn't have George. You sent me that, right?
Yeah. There were lots of little things in that video that guy did. I mean, he had it pretty buttoned up all the way down to like the fake owl tattoo that he had on his leg. I mean, it was just
legit, real tattoo.
Oh, he really got Peter McKinnon's owl logo tattooed on his leg.
No. So you have to understand. So James Coffey is from San Diego. Ironically, here's a funny story for you. James Coffey is from San Diego. I went to elementary school, middle school, and high school with one of the 3 brothers, Jacob Kennedy, who is one of the 3 brothers from James Coffee Company. So James Coffee Company is from, like, they're originated in San Diego. Peter McKinnon found their company. I don't know exactly how the origination came off, but Pete, being a coffee guy, got into it and they developed a relationship and what have you. So the Kennedy brothers own James Coffee, which is from San Diego. That tattoo, that owl tattoo, is their company logo. If you go onto my Instagram, I just posted a photo of me in front of James Coffee Company, which is, there's like 3 or 4 locations here in San Diego. But that is a real James Coffee owl tattoo that he did, by the way.
Huh?
Wow.
There you
That's
go.
awesome.
So if you want to commit, why don't you get a Peter McKinnon thing across your chest? I'll film it. We'll make it sexy with some B-roll. I'll make sure he gets it. Boom, rock star.
And we'll tag Peter.
Yeah.
And we're going to tag Pete.
It's for the channel, George. It's for the channel, man. Let's go.
If you love the channel, you do it. And I will fly out to film this.
Oh, man.
I'm pretty sure on top of that we could probably have a GoFundMe to make sure that you are taken care of during your recovery. So what's your excuse? Your bills, everything, your time off, everything will be taken care of. I'm in.
My man, Full Throttle Hog is thinking big, George. You need to get on that level, man. We need to think big.
His level of peer pressure is obviously equal to yours. So you guys
just wait till I come and visit you guys and you guys meet Rex. You want to see big. He comes up with some crazy ideas.
I don't want to meet Rex. I want to meet what was the other Rob?
No, you don't want to meet Rob. No, and nobody wants to meet Rob.
Belligerent Bert wants to meet Rob.
No. Because Rex is the party guy. Rob is not the guy we ever want to see ever again.
I want to see him.
For some reason, he comes out a couple times a year. I don't know.
Oh man, I
wanted to make sure that we not only exceeded the longest live stream, but by a little bit, so therefore it'd be hard to beat.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to give the military biker an opportunity to come back and regain his record, which I have no doubt that if we let him, he can, because I've witnessed like 13-hour live streams from Anonymous before, so we could probably do that. But hey, man, listen, this has been awesome. I've had a blast. I'm so glad that we had you on. It doesn't feel like 3 hours to me. I'm sure the viewers probably think different, but this just flew by. So I really appreciate you coming on. Just a blast, dude. I can't thank you enough. I look forward to seeing what you got going on. And with this little secretive thing you got going on soon, if you want to come back afterwards and talk to us, just hit us up. We're trying to do more of these live streams. We were doing them once a month, but now we're trying to pick it up a little bit over the winter and for the next few months, maybe do them a couple times a month. So if you want to come back on and talk about it, just hit me up, let me know, and we can do that.
Well, like I said, guys, you guys have something really good going on. This is probably, the best live stream I've ever seen. The way you guys flow. So it would be my pleasure. Anytime you want me to have, to come back on, I'll be here. Just pay attention to both Instagram and YouTube. I don't know exactly how I'm going to introduce some of the stuff that's happening, but both Instagram, if I go live on Instagram, just get fired from your work. And I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Don't do that. But you may want to tune in to see what happens. I don't know how long it's going to be or how I'm going to do it just yet. I got some creative thoughts, but it was truly my pleasure. Thank you guys so much. This, your channel, your live stream, everything you're doing for the community is awesome. So I'm here anytime you need me.
All right, cool. Guys, you got anything, man? George,
thanks for coming on. I mean, it's, we're always, looking for new channels, and you hit the mark. The quality of the videos that you're putting out. Yeah, I had no idea you had this was your second channel, but even so, the quality of the stuff that you're doing is awesome. And,
well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
People learn, and I'll see you Monday or next Monday, not this Monday. Next
week from Monday.
Week from Monday.
Definitely appreciate you coming on. Like I said, I was surprised on how good your stuff is, and now learning that you had one before and coming on. Great stuff, man. I really enjoy watching your stuff too. So,
awesome. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Hey, stick around for a minute when we get off air. Just stick in the back room, the behind room here for a minute.
Can we call it the green room?
We can call it that, but everybody calls it that. So I wanted to call it the behind room. Behind room.
All right, I'm in.
George is into the behind room. Him and Biden are into that. All right. Hey, everybody in the side chat, 19 of you, man. Really appreciate you guys sticking around. I don't know if you've all been here for the full 3 hours.
Some people
3 hours, guys. We just did a 3-hour live stream. But if you stuck around for that long, we truly appreciate it. Salty and Sprinkles, you are the man. You've been on since like the beginning. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Lock that one in the brew room.
The brew room. Bam. Hudson, like a bunch of you guys have been on this whole time. We really appreciate you guys.
North,
you guys
you
guys are the reason our channel is doing so well. So we really appreciate it. We will be back most likely. I will give you guys an update, but I think we're going to be on live again next week. I think we have someone lined up for next week. So look for that early this week for info on that, and look forward to seeing you guys in the next live stream. All right, everybody, take care. We'll see you later.